All right, we're live. We're live, brother. Brother. Kratos, no! No, brother. Mimir. 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 Macho. You're a boy. Boy.
It's not loading up for me.
Boy. Boy. Load up for me.
Okay, there we go. What's up?
Yeah, you bum.
Whoa, hold on. All right. I see it now.
Okay. I don't want to close my
It's
eyes.
a little far, so you get a little closer here.
I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a
I'll
thing.
do my best to raise my voice.
Yeah,
A
sure.
little congested.
Let me know how I sound. I'm raising my volume a bit. Speak, macho.
I'm not macho, but I'm talking.
Thank you. I'm not macho, but I'm talking. Macho, you're not Jay, but talk. Macho, talk.
Hold on, dude. I'm trying to listen. Stop trying to disseminate.
All right, thank you.
All right, Soul sounds good. Walt, you're way too loud.
I'm always loud. Give me a second.
And I'm a little too low.
Soup up, soup up, soup up, soup up. Let's keep it just a tad bit on the yellow. Ba 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 ba. Okay.
Are you okay? What the fuck's wrong with you today?
I'm just playing with the sound, and I do the to like keep seeing the bar go up. Baba booey, baba booey. Sippity bop.
It sounds good here, but...
Oh man, I stretched, and I feel my whole body just reinvigorated. Oh man.
Yeah, I sound horrible. Hold on. What's going on here? Oh wait, hold on. I think I might know why. Okay, that's what I want there. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I think I might know why. Sounds weird.
I'm so dumb. I wasn't using the right input there. Okay, how do I sound, Macho? How do I
All right, let me
sound?
see how it sounds now.
Whoa, is that a new man?
So much better.
God damn.
Yeah, do you hear me better?
Whew.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to tell
Okay,
you
yeah,
to
it
get
was
divorced
definitely
and
that
marry me now. Okay, it's green, but I can't see you.
Sound good so far.
I'm making a Last of Us poster in Photoshop for my class this month, and it's looking pretty fucking sick so far.
Yeah, what do you got in there? A clicker? Runner?
I have, yeah, a clicker, Joel, Ellie, and then I have to Abby in there someplace.
Testing.
And then there's gonna like Joel's like in Joel's torso, like I'm gonna put like a bunch of like fire. It's gonna look pretty cool, I think, if I can get it right. And like
Nice.
I don't know if you guys remember those old Indiana Jones posters or the Star Wars posters where they look like kind of like hand drawn like oil paintings almost.
Yeah.
Testing.
Those classic posters.
Yeah.
That's how I made this poster look. So it looks really
Ooh,
really cool. Yeah.
look at you. How do I
Yep.
sound, by the way?
Good man.
Because I was ticking around with the potato. Look at you. So you're gonna be the next what's his name? Rossetti, Graf something. He's on Twitter. He does the whole like Sony, mostly Sony. I think he did Kratos. He's done Kratos
Oh,
in it.
good.
He's like an animator. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Come again.
Yeah, we're good to go. So I already sent out the tweet.
Congrats.
I'll keep an eye on it just in case, but I think we're good.
You got it, ma'am.
All right, let's see what's over here.
Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and start. Oh, actually, fuck. Let me go to the YouTube page really quick.
Mm.
So, Walt, dance, monkey, dance.
As you, oh, Bobby, so, Bobby, boy, Shit. There should be
All right, yeah,
qualifiers.
I can dance right now. So Walt, you know how I've been
Do y'all hear me?
delving more to Middle Earth,
Can you hear me?
and yes, we hear you, motherfucker.
Okay.
Jeez, God.
Okay, good. Perfect. I'm just moving around a lot of different things here on Discord. I just want to make sure that I'm not muted on your end. And then I keep talking and y'all are, oh, I guess Walter ain't speaking. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm here with two toddlers.
And even if we don't hear you speak, it's okay. We'll be fine.
You're so funny.
But yeah, you know how I've been getting more into Lord of the Rings? I
Mm-hmm.
finished The Hobbit and
Whoa.
started Fellowship of the Ring,
Whoa.
and slowly making my way through that, man. It's I'm not lying when I say that these are like slow reads. They're kind of like slow burns for reading, but they're a lot of fun. I'm having fun reading all this stuff.
Really? That's good, man. Yeah, I hear the Hobbit, the actual Hobbit, is the more divisive one. Unlike
The movies?
yeah, the movies. I don't know about the books.
Yeah, I mean the book is incredible. I read the book first before watching the movie, and the movie just extends a lot of stuff because they add there's a lot of like unsaid storytelling in The Hobbit. Like Gandalf goes away for some time to deal with the like the growing evil that Sauron is, and he's known as like the necromancer in that book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Gandalf goes to investigate. You don't follow Gandalf, you just follow Bilbo and the rest of the dwarves. So the movie tries to like throw in those little stories and provide that background. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. It just gets really it gets too much sometimes.
Mm. I see.
But the book itself is incredible. And the same thing with the Fellowship of the Ring book. I'm just really enjoying like these slow reads, especially since I've been sick the past couple of days. And whenever I get sick, I just kind of go into lockdown. I don't play games. I try to watch as little TV as possible to stop any kind of sort of strain or on my eyes or anything like that. So I just end up reading. So I read like a good 100 pages of the first book. So I've been enjoying that.
Wow, look at you bookworm.
Oh
Wow.
yes, hell yeah. It also didn't help either that I had a ton of life stuff to do. So hear me out on this one, man. On
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, right? I get out of work and it's pouring rain outside. And I already had a couple things I needed to do for my car. Like I need to get the oil change, I need to do like the maintenance check and all kind of stuff. So I've had plans to do that next week. All that got pushed to this week because when I was coming from home from work on Wednesday, again pouring rain, I had a flat tire because there was a little metal pipe stuck in it.
Ooh, love that.
Highway that I was driving on, lodged in there, and I was like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me?" So, I tried to call a pickup truck, but the actual highway that I was on, apparently, it's restricted highway that you need access. You need police access and police permission in order to get a pickup truck on that highway.
Interesting.
So I was completely screwed. So what I ended up doing is just driving over to an automobile shop that was like 20 minutes away, and the little metal pipe eventually broke off when I was driving, of course, and so I was driving with a flat tire for like 10 miles, and then
Mm.
everything got pushed to like actually fixing my car and everything, which was great because I got everything done. But man, that was what a stressful day. And after that, I got sick. So
Oh man,
yeah,
you're
it's not a fun week. It's not a fun week for your boy Macho.
had the eventful week. God damn.
It sucked. Yeah.
But you know what? Could be worse.
What? I mean, sure. Well, that's why I was saying before, like it was great to kind of just dive into the Fellowship of the Ring and just kind of like not worry about any of that kind of stuff. Or for some reason, I don't know why. Whenever I'm sick, though, watching games, playing movies, or playing games, watching movies, stuff like that, it doesn't really, help take my mind off the fact I'm sick. But whenever I'm reading,
Mhm.
I completely just forget that I'm sick, and I just don't feel anymore. So,
Damn. Oh, well, I mean, we're here. We're alive. Thank the Lord.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jay, for allowing us to be here with you in your presence. And
So I apologize to anybody that listening and like Hector, you sound horrible.
it's fine. We have to listen to you every week. That's already,
Yeah, I
um,
know. I know.
but
It's horrible.
have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG
Hey,
Final Fantasy
yo.
14? With an expanded free trial with you
You
can
don't need
play
to do all that.
the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heaven's
You
Ward.
don't need to.
Expansion
Yes,
up
he
to level
does.
60 for free with no restrictions on playtime. Did you know that?
I respect you so much. I love you, Walt. You do what I could not. If I were to die from this world, I know you would carry my torch. Unlike this mofo that's
Hey, yo.
taking for a long time doing the YouTube details here.
Hey, yo. Yeah, he's doing the Lord's work. He's
That's true.
what I will say.
I mean, we could go ahead and start.
All right. Kick it off.
Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back to the 84th episode of the DualShock Sense podcast. I'm your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus, joined as always by my two co-hosts. We got Macho here. How you doing, man?
I'm sick and everything hurts, but I'm okay. No, I'm doing good,
Oh,
man. And I'm doing even better because I mean we took like a little bit of a break from podcasting, but I'm even better because the god himself, Bob Iger, is back at Disney.
Oh
The
my.
man took his seat back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yes,
man.
sir. Bob Chapek is out of there. His ass is grass right now, and I couldn't be more happy about it.
He's sitting on that throne like Kratos in the beginning of God of War 2.
Yes, for real.
Oh, man.
I'm happy my boy Bob Iger is back. The man's a visionary. He saved Disney from complete bankruptcy, and
Oh man.
he's gonna put it back. He's put us back into good graces. Just you wait. Bob Iger's a man. So yeah, I'm doing good. The
Awesome.
Kingdom Hearts of
Let's
Final
hope.
fanatic is a little sick, but it's okay.
We also got Walt here. What's going on, man?
It's been 2 weeks. So what's been going on? It's a lot of gaming. It's going well. And I've been working. The job has been treating me well. I have been fortunately tired, so I feel good that I'm able to feel useful while feeling tired because I know that I did a good job. So I am, patting my back, and I am scratching my beard because we're gonna talk about some gaming, and we're gonna roast each other because we're gonna talk about what we're voting for today. But that'll be later on in the podcast. First, we got some topics to go through, unless we do this first. But we're doing good, y'all. And Jay, kick it off with your games, man. What have you been playing?
Yeah, so let's God, man, you're rushing the process, man. What's going on, Walt? Yeah.
Remember, he's saying, "Remember who's host, Walt." Remember who's host.
Yeah, trying to do my job for me again.
Yeah.
Walt got plans for 2023, man. Yikes.
For real, gonna take over. Before we get started, want to remind everyone to go ahead and like the podcast, share it out. We greatly appreciate all that stuff. So yeah, let's move into the stuff that we've been playing. For me, it really hasn't been much aside from a little bit of God of War here and there. But also Macho.
Yo,
funnily enough, I went back to a game that it feels like me and you are like the only ones who really love this game, because I see this game just getting like needlessly shit on every time I get on Twitter. That is Horizon Forbidden West, man.
Wow.
oh well, Walt got a
Yeah.
little bit of news for you too, buddy.
Wow.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to I don't know, man. Like I just wanted to. I feel like I didn't like, even though I spent like close to 80 hours in it, I still feel like I didn't like the side stuff. So I just wanted to go back and do some more side quests, and I finished off the cauldrons, or not the cauldrons. I finished off the tall necks,
Mm.
and then the last tall I did was the one that was inside the cauldron, and that was really fucking cool. I really love that one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, just what a great game that game is. Had a blast. It's definitely like because I have it back on my hard drive obviously now, and I definitely think it's gonna be one of those games where I keep it on there despite how big the file size is, because it's just like it's one of those easy games where you can just like hop back in for like an hour or so, and just like kind of check some things off your to-do list or whatever, and then go about your day. I think it's big for that.
Or even just get
Um,
immersed in just the environment, right? Listen to the sounds and just walk around
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's pretty much been it for me. Obviously Ragnarok is still great. Um, it's funny. So I was listening to the MinMax podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and they do this actually every year, and I think the host of that podcast, he did this when he was at Game Informer as well, and it's basically like they do a podcast so talking about like their favorite soundtracks of the year, specific songs in the soundtrack of the year. And one of them brought up a song from Ragnarok. Obviously it's a moment in the game that I haven't gotten to yet, but it's Odin's theme, which I'm assuming it's his song when you actually fight him. It's just called the All Father.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
god damn, dude, that song
Masterpiece.
that song fucking slaps, dude.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I'm excited to get more into that game. Just finished off or not completely finished off with it, but the Ironwood section, which has been pretty fun, just hanging out with Angerboda, and yeah,
And
that's pretty much been
it's the most divisive level in the game. Even Eric Williams admitted that it's been the most controversial area because a lot of people really don't enjoy it for some reason.
I I understand why people are so. At the same time, I feel like people are exaggerating, because it's not like it's like a 5 hour section, Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could get through it pretty quickly, and also like it's fleshing out these two characters a lot more. Atreus independently from Kratos. So like I don't know. I love just spending time with these characters, getting to know them a lot more. Like what does Atreus look like when he's not attached to Kratos' hip?
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that stuff. And again, Atreus' combat is super fun, but at the same time, I understand why people don't like it, because it at the same time it does kind of feel like it's grinding the gameplay, or like the progress that you're making in the story, to a halt almost, right? Because like all this incredible stuff happened at Alfheim, and then it's like I don't know, the ball is really rolling, and then it kind of stops once you get to this section, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I get why people don't.
Do you enjoy her moves and how the everything gets painted when she does her moves and the different colors? I love
I
I love it.
I, I just love her animations. Like her animations are really
She's really
cool.
nimble. She's
Yeah.
she's a great fighter. I didn't expect. I really like how this section also gives Atreus a chance to kind of be a teen and like be a kid almost, and like have someone else he can kind of relate in terms of developing himself in life. So I really enjoy that, and we'll go more into it when we do our spoiler cast later on. Um, but yeah, so that's all you've been playing.
Yeah, that's it for me. What about you guys?
Machi, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I can go. I mean, well, I finished off Ragnarok and I immediately just want to keep playing it. I immediately want to restart my playthrough and do. I wish it came with New Game Plus because I'll be deep into it right now,
I
man.
think it's coming next year. I think so.
Hopefully. I know photo mode's like on its way too, so hopefully that comes
Hell
paired
yeah.
with New Game Plus, so that we can really dive in. I can play on Give Me God of War stuff like that. Because man, uh, it took me a little bit to process everything. I just kind of wanted to take it all in, and then as soon as I did, I called Walt, and I was like, "Dude, we gotta talk about this game." And we just ended up talking just for so long about like all different themes and what they meant and just how the resolution. And I ended up texting Walt like in the middle of the week about this crazy story revelation. I was like, oh my god, this happened. Like there's so many layers to this game, so it's absolutely incredible. And I'll be surprised if it's not like my number one game of the year by the time we do like our personal game of the year list,
Mm-hmm.
just because of like the story really resonated with me. It's the gameplay is incredible. It goes to different layers too, which I love. Emmy Variety is just off the wall. Like it's what a game. What a, I can't wait to actually talk about it for like our nominees picks for this podcast and
Yeah.
whenever we talk about like our game of the year stuff like that. It's so good. And yeah, I mean after that I've been kind of just bouncing around between that and actually one of the things I did start was Halo. So for Black Friday, I ended up picking the Master Chief Collection. I know it's a PlayStation podcast, but I never played the Halo series besides Halo Infinite's multiplayer, which I really liked. So I decided to play one, and I blasted that in like maybe 2 days, and that's a rough ass game.
Yeah.
That is a rough game to play, man. I played Master Chief Collection with the updated graphics, so it's a little easier to navigate. But you could probably spend like 15 to 20 hours in that game completing the story, just for getting lost. It's pretty obtuse, like the way they reuse levels and God, like the level design is really bad. But other than that, the shooting's
It's
great.
dated.
The enemies are awesome. Yeah, and the story's good too. The story's a real carrot on a stick for that game, which is surprising. But it just because usually for shooters, I really don't care for the story. But for Halo, it's actually maybe chapter 4 around there out of 10 that really starts to like get me to like, okay, yeah, I actually want to see what progresses, what happens. And I finished it. Thank God, never going back to it. But then I start Halo 2, and man, what a starter. That Halo 2 has like one of the best intros to a game I played for a while. At least from that era, like that 360 PS3 era, like they were really setting the bar, and it kind of made me think, like, damn, what happened to Xbox?
Oh man.
what
Oh,
what
man,
happened?
don't
Like,
say that.
I mean, because
The
like,
problem is that that was their like one studio, and they didn't even own that studio. So like, and
yeah,
all their exclusives were done by third party, like contract deals. They didn't have like
Like a
a Naughty
dedicated,
Dog or a
yeah,
Sucker Punch or a Media Molecule. All these teams that are like under Sony's belt
or Gorilla.
versus Microsoft, right, or Gorilla, right, versus Microsoft. They always contracted other teams to make games for them, and then by the time they got to the Xbox One era, they realized like, oh shit, we don't have actual dedicated teams under our belt to make games for us.
But the games are coming, yo. I promise.
I mean, well, to be fair, again, I played Gears of War 1 on PC, and
Right.
that was really fun. I think that was like another like great Xbox 360 game. But then to back to Halo 2, it's just it starts off so amazingly. Like just it's really like off the bat, we're already starting off with like a nice high quality CG cutscene of Chief and what's it called, the Arbiter, who's like your one of your enemies from the last game, and they're basically chastising him and gonna torture this guy because he let Chief win in the last game. And it's a nice little back and forth where Chief is being celebrated for being hero and then the Arbor is being tortured. And it's like already setting up like this really cool duology in the story. So I wonder where that's gonna be taken out next. And last time I played it was Tuesday, got sick Wednesday, and then just decided to not play games for a little bit. But yeah, really looking forward to playing more Halo 2. And then the last game, Walt, that we can touch up on is Callisto Protocol. So I'll let you kick it off so that I can give my voice a little bit of a break here.
Right. Yeah. So I'll leave Callisto for the last game we'll talk about, so we can both talk about it. So these 2 weeks have been incredible for gaming for me. We'll start off with A Plague Tale: Innocence. I hadn't finished it. I finally beat it, wrapped up the story, and there was a sale going on with Requiem, so I bought that, and I'll be getting into that in the next few weeks. After that, I said, okay, I need to dip my toes back into Horizon. What made me think that is I had just finished God of War. So I finished God of War Ragnarok and I platinum it. I did everything in that game. And I clocked in at 49 hours, I think, total.
Damn.
And I restarted it and give me God of War difficulty because of the same thing you said, Macho, because I want to re-experience the story with a new lens, because the game really is the type of story that's like, once you beat it, if you replay it, you're going to notice different things and whatever. So I'm doing that. Not now. I'm not currently playing it. Like, I'm not dedicated every day, but because I am kind of waiting for that New Game Plus, because I really want to feel like an actual god when I replay it, not just, oh, I have a stick and a stone and I'm gonna hit you now after you feel so powerful by the end. So I platinum at, and I said, I want more story. I wanna just be lost in a story. And I played Horizon, and now I'm at the point where all I need to do is go assault the Zenith base. That's what I'm nearing the end of the main story.
Yeah,
and-
that's like the last mission, isn't it, Soul? I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much the last mission.
So I'm just right there. I haven't done a lot of side stuff, but hear me out. It's because I want to do the main story first. I want to get that all the way and enjoy that. Because once I start doing the side stuff, I am going to want to platinum this game. And I think I'm going to go for the platinum for Horizon. Even though it'll take maybe a few weeks or a few months, I'm going to slowly chip at it. I'm really interested in doing it. I am getting lost in that world so much. I finally got to the island, to San Francisco, and oh my God, water will not be the same for me anymore. That is absolutely insane how beautiful this game is. I forgot just how insanely gorgeous this game is. After that, I went in and I started Callisto, which came out yesterday. So this has all been spread out throughout the whole. Oh, I've been also playing Pokemon Violet, by the way.
Yeah, yes.
God
So,
bless.
yeah, well, so he called me the next day after we did our podcast. He's like, "So, Macho,
I'm a
I'm a
hypocrite.
hypocrite."
I just bought Violet, and I don't regret it, man. I'm having a blast. I'm having so much fun. I love this Pokemon. I am bold enough to say that this is the most fun I've had since Sun and Moon. And Sun and Moon is one of my
Really?
favorite ones. This is incredible.
Even with those 360p
Listen, man.
like textures.
There's more fun in those 360p's than most games have in 4K. Listen, I'm having so much fun.
That's wild.
I'm having so much fun. It is inexcusable. I will not defend the poor performance, but I have not had the buffoonery that people have had, the jankiness and all that really bad performance. I've had a few dips here and there, but nothing game breaking. If anything, it's funny. It's like pop-ups here and there, and I'm like, dude, I don't mind.
I was watching someone stream the game, and he was like walking like through this town, and there was like a civilian, like you could see the civilian off into the distance.
Yeah.
It was like they were like a goddamn like slideshow.
Stop
They were,
motion.
stop motion. Yes.
Yeah.
Like they were literally like stopping and walking, stopping and walking.
Everyone looks like that
that's
from
how
afar.
bad.
Everyone.
It's so
Yeah, dude,
crazy.
every
Everything.
NPC is like that. I'm
And
like,
Pokemon
are you
and everything.
serious?
Mhm.
I'm so baffled that
But-
that game got shipped out.
But
like that.
here's the thing. You know what's insane? This is actually the very first ever open world Pokemon game, because Arceus was open zone. This one is open world. Like the whole island is accessible from the get go. You can go
Yeah,
anywhere.
no,
I know. I
I'm
can
not
feel it. I can
gonna.
feel it's a full open world. I can feel it.
It does feel
I'm not
like it's
gonna.
struggling to render for sure.
I'm not gonna give them a pass for that because
Absolutely not.
Xenoblade seemed to have done it just
Xenoblade
fine.
has a massive world. I'd say it's even more detailed and more ambitious, and it does a better job. The problem here is that for some reason they don't. Apparently, they don't give Game Freak time, and I don't know.
Absolutely not. They made 2 open world games. You gotta
In
remember
one
that.
game in one year.
Yeah.
This needs
Yeah.
to be like every 2 years at the very least. They need to optimize this game. But I'm having a blast. I'm having fun. I haven't even scratched the surface of this game because I've been playing Horizon and all that. This one's like more during the night and before I go to bed and just to chill.
That must be super jarring going from Horizon Forbidden West, which is a gorgeous ass game at 60 frames per second, to the janky ass Pokemon Violet.
Listen, man,
Jesus.
and it's crazy because I lose so much time in it. I get so lost in it. I have such a blast. The music is great. I love the Spanish phrases. I love Nimona just vaya, oye, mira, and I'm like, bro, it's like you're my cousin. Like I love it. It feels so nice. It's such a fun game.
I was kind of wondering about that because I remember I seen that like in the game. It kind of reminded me when Soul's pointing out for Young Justice how Blue Beetle will say random Spanish phrases
But for
at the
her,
end of
it's
his
like
sentences.
it
Yeah.
feels like because she's like it's just like getting your attention. So it's not like hermano, it's not that.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like vaya, like it's like I feel it. I feel it. One thing I will say, this game would be far way better, and people have agreed with that. And on Twitter, there's been discussions about it and people dubbing it with voice acting because there's so many moments, so many cutscenes where the mouths are animated and they're saying lines, but there's no voice acting, and it would be vastly improved with voice acting. Truly, I feel like it's not the fact that they don't have the money for it; it's the time. Because if they had the time, dude, they could have put some voice acting in this, and it would have been 10 times better. But
Yeah, I agree.
it does
agree.
didn't
You
stop
you
it from.
you can see it like it's like they should have some voice acting in there.
There's like a vision in this game, but it feels like no. It's like when a manga. It's like Naruto. Naruto was in its prime, and then Kishimoto was rushed by his editor, and he had to rush the ending, and it didn't feel earned. It feels like this just got rushed at the end. But we'll see. I look forward to what the next entry looks both in Legends and in the mainline Pokemon. Now, yesterday, Macho, we both started Callisto Protocol, a arguably divisive game, very mixed reviews.
Yeah, 100%.
Quote unquote mixed, because I would say that 70, it's 76, 78. That's not a bad score, but by today's standards, that's like giving it a 3. Now, the main thing that's happening now, it's comparable to what happened with Sekiro in some aspects. And it's that people are complaining a lot about the combat system and how difficult it is, or how unorthodox it is, or how unforgiving it is.
Wait, I don't see how the two are related at all.
No, with Sekiro, they talked about how there should be a decrease in difficulty because it was so hard and the combat felt too fast and whatever. That's the only way I would compare it. And people complaining about difficulty spikes.
Sure, but that didn't affect the review score.
Not at all, because it's a FromSoft game. Now,
Well, because it was also like a goddamn good game, right?
it's a great game, and I would argue Callisto is a fantastic game as well. And that's where me and the bum reviews differ. I want to hear what Macho thinks about this. What's been your experience with Callisto, Macho?
So I mean, I like it. It's fun. I think there's definitely a couple of really weird design choices. Like for instance, the one thing this Callisto Protocol does is that, which a lot of people are complaining about, is the fact that the dodge system is very finicky, and that's because whenever you're locked into a combat system, you're essentially locked into just one zombie or
enemy.
one monster, whatever the case may be. So it feels like a one-on-one. And what people are complaining about is when multiple zombies are coming into, are the zombie whatever they're called,
The
When multiple-
biophages.
Yeah, well, most of them are coming into one combat scenario, and people are finding a hard time adjusting to that. And I admit that there is a little bit of frustration. And one of the weird design choices that's not in there that I wish it was is the one thing that God of War has, which is like the little combat indicator that something's to attack from behind you.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that the reason why they probably didn't want to do for Callisto Protocol is because they want you to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they give you quite a bit of tools to actually win your scenario, your combat scenarios. And it's only after a little bit, like maybe dying like maybe 4 or 5 times, I realize, oh, okay, maybe I'm supposed to do this and then that, and then I can start doing this and that. So, for instance, one of the sequences I just finished in the second chapter, they give you. I just got the hand weapon where you're able to pull in the monsters and throw
The
them back
grip.
out into the environment. Yeah, the grip, and the actual like area is riddled with sharp ass objects spinning wildly.
Yeah.
And they're throwing like maybe 10 of the monsters at you, but like in doses of 3 or 2. So I'm like, okay, I just gotta navigate from one area to the next, throw one boom, throw another boom, shoot one in the leg, then do a little bit of combat with it. So like I find it very engaging. I find it like it brings like the tension a little bit more, and it feels like a Dead Space game, but then the combat system makes it feel like it's a little bit more than that. So I think people just found a lot of frustration and just trying to figure out how this combat scenario works, and then they just label it as something being bad.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'll say like it's like kind of weird again is that not having a combat indicator to tell you when an enemy's coming from behind you because it's a very close POV,
Mm-hmm.
and the checkpoint system. I feel like the checkpoint system is not good.
Yeah, it is. It is very that one is like old school frustrating because it's the type of thing where
Yeah,
it does have autosave. However, those checkpoints, it's like you just fought like 6 monsters and it took you a minute because you wanted to be very thorough and not lose any health, and then the last one kills you and you have to restart the whole wave, and that can be frustrating. Uh,
yeah,
However,
for sure, for
as we
sure.
know here, I don't know if we know this. I am a masochist. I do enjoy my hard games, and for me, that is frustrating. But it doesn't break the immersion or the quality of the game for me. It just makes it where okay, I just need to be better. I need to be stronger. I need to be faster, and be
Yeah,
more
I'm
aware.
kind of the same way. I don't see it as like it's like bad design,
Hmm.
like in setting up combat scenario. I just have to realize that there's more than one answer than just
It's not for
fighting
everyone.
enemies. Well, no, I need to, we need to people need to find more than one answer than just using your baton or using the gun. Like
There you
there's
go.
a whole bunch of different environment scenarios too that you can use to your leverage. So
There's a reason why the season pass includes more death animations is because the game it emphasizes on the different ways that you can play around. It's like a playground with the different deaths and the different environmental hazards. Because
That season pass is ridiculous, man.
the
That's yeah, that
the
season pass
the
how
because it's like this is shit that you could just include for free. Like I'm not paying extra money just to get a few extra skins and death animations. That
no,
shit
but
should
the
just be in
season
the
pass is
game in
for
the base
mainly
game.
for story DLC and for like a wave mode.
That's fine. That's
The
fine.
new
But
game
yeah,
plus
just
and
like
the death animations that's gonna be free.
the death animations are not included in the
No,
season
I'm pretty
pass.
sure that the death animations and the new game, what is it?
I think it's
The
New Game Plus
New
that's
Game
free. New
Plus.
Game Plus and yeah,
There's
and
something
something
else with
else.
New Game
No,
Plus.
I'm pretty sure the death
Let
animations
me
are
let
are
me
locked behind
let me check
that
that.
season pass.
Let me check that out.
Yeah, no, they are. They are.
Is it
The new
Yeah,
ones are incoming.
that's ridiculous.
death
I
animation?
don't really see like a problem with that, honestly. It's not like they're just locking it behind like it's not like they're done. It's these are more death animations
Yeah,
that they want to
because
make because
like it's not
people
like it feels
made a
unfinished.
highlight.
It literally feels like an actual expansion. It doesn't feel like you're completing an unfinished product. It would have been bad if it's Nintendo, where you need to buy an amiibo to unlock fast travel. If it's that way, it's like okay, that's a normal mode that you took out and made me pay for it. Whereas this, it's just you get more for it, but it doesn't impede the experience. It doesn't ruin the experience to not have it, because the game has already a plethora of very gruesome animations, death animations. Which that's another thing, Macho. I love the gore and the design of the enemies and the way that they react to you hitting them and the chunks that you take away from them and how Jacob gets absolutely eviscerated by them. I love it all.
Oh yeah, one of the news I saw this morning is the one that throws the green gunk at you from afar. If you if you let him, if he comes up to you and just grabs you as you're about to die, he'll chop off like half your face.
Yes,
And
no,
was
I
like,
got chopped
oh,
off
that is
earlier.
yeah, I was like, that's wild.
He'll grab you. It's the I have the collector's edition, so the big monster, the double-headed that splits down the middle. He'll grab you, and there's like tentacles coming out of its mouth, and it'll like attach to you, and then it'll chunk your face off. It was horrible, and I love it. It's horrifying.
Well, how far are you? I just got to Aftermath chapter. I didn't just get to. I'm like maybe halfway through that one. I'm not sure.
I think I might be almost done with that one. I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I just reunited with a character.
Elias.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit
Alright,
further
yeah.
than that, yeah. I'm loving it. I think that truly this is not I don't think it's a misconception to construe it as bad design. It truly is just a hit or miss. It's like Dr. Mo said on Twitter, you either adapt to it or you reject the design entirely. And I think this is a case where I don't think it's fair to blame the design. It's just a different design because it's a very very specific approach to combat. Because aside from that, atmosphere, performance. Oh well, that's another thing. I'm playing it on PS5, by the way. I haven't had any stuttering. I'm hearing a lot of PC players are having horrible performance issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuttering. I'm not, so I can't speak for that. So I'm having a blast with that. The story is nothing to rave about. Very straightforward. You got into a prison somehow. You know, I'm not gonna say how, and you need to survive. I would say that performances are nothing, crazy. This isn't God of War. Don't expect like Christopher Judge performance level. But I will say
it's still good. Like
it's not a bad performance, but it is going to be compared to story-driven games like Callisto or Horizon, or like God of War or Horizon. So it gets the job done. I am enjoying the characters. I like the performers themselves, Sam Witwer and Karen Fukuhara. I enjoy the other ones as well.
That's the thing that's kind of disappointed me the most because like this game was on my radar and I was really looking forward to it, but then after like watching some reviews and hearing people talk about just like their disappointment, like people from like obviously like Skill Up and Susie Hunter, who is like a horror game fanatic, she was really let down by this game after being really excited about it, and it's just like things about like the story being paper thin and the characters being sort of just like one note, the sort of prison thing or whatever, like when you have this idea of like, hey, like this game is going to take place on a prison or whatever, like I feel like it should be like Walt, like Talos 1 from Prey, or the police
Right.
station from RE2, like
Mhm.
these locations where you get to be so familiar with, and there's a lot of backtracking, there's like Metroidvania sort of elements where it's like, okay, I couldn't access this area at the beginning of the game because I couldn't find the key, but then halfway through the game you actually do find that key, and now you can go back to the beginning of the game and access that one area of the police station or whatever, right? And to find out that there's like none of that here in this game, it's basically just like you going down a straight line the entire time. I was like, in a horror game, that's kind of disappointing to me.
I mean, I
Um,
would say that you have to look at it in different ways because mainly is this Striking Distance debut game?
Yeah.
Glenn Schofield, when he created Dead Space is not it's not a backtracking game. It is a level by level. You get on the train and you go to the next level.
Was-
Yeah,
Mind you, this
Dead Space is hella linear.
and Dead
Was Dead
Space is hella
2?
atmospheric. What was that?
Is Dead Space 2 not like that either? Because isn't that also like a full space station that you get to explore?
It is, and Dead Space 2, it's like not a whole city, but it takes place in a city, in Dead Space 2,
Right.
in a space city,
That's
city.
That's pretty much what I mean though. Like I would have loved to have had that connectivity between places.
Yeah, no, mind you, here's the thing: is that Dead Space 2 and 3, Glenn wasn't involved as heavily as with 1, because 1 he created directly. This one feels like Dead Space 1 proper, in the sense that it focuses on atmosphere and tension and combat. The big thing here being, the dodging and weaving and countering and the grip. It's like when he introduced the gravity or the slow, the slow machine or slow gun in Dead Space 1. It reminds me of the OG Dead Space, and it's very linear. There's no backtracking. You're right. It's not a Resi 2. It's more Evil Within than anything, which I think Zuzi enjoyed. You mentioned Zuzi. I think I watched one of the videos that she did with Evil Within 1, and she enjoyed that one more than Evil Within 2, which Evil Within 2 had more backtracking and it was more open area. But I think this is just a matter of expectations also and perspective.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Well, I think a lot of people had like different expectations for this game, and they went into it expecting like a Resident Evil 2 or like an evolutionized Dead Space or whatever. And that's
Right.
where they're disappointed, because it sounds like a lot from what I saw reviews that they expected to be one thing and it's not, and they didn't like that.
And
So-
and that's another thing. And I'm gonna keep comparing to Dead Space 1 because it's literally the same director slash creator, and it's kind of the same vibe. The story here is arguably more fleshed out in terms of narrative, like in terms of characters, than it was on Dead Space. Because even here, the main
I gotta
character.
stop. I gotta stop you. For real?
Yeah, Isaac didn't have any agency. In this case, at least, there's some story to the main character. Over there, it was more environmental, and while he had a past to uncover, that wasn't explored until Dead Space 2. And that's what I mean. And in terms of stories, they both excel in different areas. In this case, it's more with the characters and with the prison, while Dead Space 1, the one thing it did beautifully, and I think excels even more than Callisto, is the U.S. Ishimura. I enjoy the U.S. Ishimura more than I do Black Iron Prison because I don't know much about Black Iron Prison. I assume we'll uncover more about that and like the source of all this. But I think that with Dead Space in hindsight, because we got 2 and 3, we got 2. We have more context as to what happened and how everything developed, and we have more appreciation for it. I would argue it's very different stories, and both excel in very different things. But in this case, they're already pushing for a more, not a faceless protagonist, is what I want to say. And I think that the story, people vastly overestimate Dead Space story in Dead Space 1, because Dead Space 1 barely had any like fleshed out story. It just had an environment that told what happened there, but it didn't elaborate on anything until Dead Space 2. So I think with
Sure, but wasn't also like the main thing with that one, the major twist was the thing with Isaac and his wife.
You're right,
First
but
one.
exactly the marker, yeah, all that, and him seeing the visions and him getting exposed to the marker and why he sees all these symbols. And Dead Space 2, he's like even more lost in madness. But I'm not that far into Callisto, so the jury's still out. Like Dr. Mo would say, I still don't know how this one will end. I'll let you know in a week's time or two how it fares against Dead Space. But for now, I'm getting the same kind of pacing in terms of you're in this, even not unknown. Isaac knew the U.S. Ishimura. This one doesn't know the Black Iron Prison. So in that case, it kind of, everything was more cohesive because everything was kind of like, he belonged in that environment. Well, in this one, it feels more foreign. So I'll let you know how it fares against Dead Space. But I don't think people should have expected a Resi 2. Because mind you, Resi 2 came after Resi 2. Resi 2 Remake came after Resi 2 was out. They already had an understanding of what made that story so great, so they fleshed it out. In this case, this is this studio's first game, and it's a horror game. I mean, if we want a Dead Space Remake is coming soon, so we'll see how that turns out. I'm hoping it's great, but I don't know. Macho, what anything you might disagree on or agree on, or anything else you want to add?
I just think that kind of the hate on the game is a little too much. Because I mean, I think first of all, I think it really is one of those games where you gotta play for yourself to really know if you like it or not, especially when it comes to the combat. Because you can hear opinions all day, but like I know people will say like Kingdom Hearts 2 is a trash game, and I'll be like, you're crazy. So
You are
it
crazy.
really,
No, I'm kidding.
no, I'm not crazy. It's
I'm
one of
kidding.
the
I'm
best
kidding.
games ever made. But no, so for Callisto Protocol, I feel like it's like the same thing, and it really is kind of like an old school horror game. It's very linear. It's one note, and but I don't I still enjoy it. You know, it's still a fun game. I'm not saying it's not like a bad linear game by any means. It's still enjoyable. I'm really liking it, and plus I'm liking the combat system a lot more the more I mess around with it too. I like the enemy design. I think they're really cool. And I just like exploring a little bit of the station. Again, you don't do a whole lot of exploration because it is linear, but everything that is in front of you is really atmospheric and it kind of sets a tone, which is really nice. So I think it does a good job of that. My only problem, my only big problem with the game, well,
Yeah.
is that I'm not scared. It's
I'm not
a
scared
scary
either.
game.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not scared. What I will say, although I'm not scared, because I don't get scared about with gore. I don't get scared with like Dead Space didn't scare me. It
Yeah, like the same with me. Like I don't get scared of gore or monsters like this. Like,
right,
but give me House
but I am
Beneviento and
tense.
I'll shit my pants. You know, but games like this, I'm in it more for the action, the
Mm-hmm.
gore, the atmosphere more than I am for like the scares. But yeah,
Right.
the jump scares I see like a mile away. So
Absolutely.
I don't think they did that really particularly well. But as far as putting you into a situation where you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna die, like it gets there.
It's a
So
very tense game. I'd say it
yeah,
excels in
yeah.
tension and in keeping you like at the edge of your seat during combat. Uh, and also, I do enjoy, although not scary, I think this is a very creepy, unsettling, and disturbing game. Well, not particularly scary, like House Beneviento you mentioned, you know, the baby, the mannequins. Uh, well, not a Resident Evil 7 scary. I would say that it excels in creepy, particularly when you're fighting enemies and you fail to finish the last one off. He will run off and get into the vents, and you will, for the rest of the level, hear this motherfucker in the vents and not know when he's gonna strike. And I love that. I absolutely have. You had that happen to you, Macho? Hello.
Oh, sorry, my bad. What happened?
Have you had that happen to you where the enemies you don't finish off the last one and he escapes into the vents?
I think so. I mean, the encounter I had that I was having trouble with was the one where there's two regular enemies and there's a one that throws a spit at you, and then there's another one that throws spit at you that comes from the vent behind you. And I was like, okay, I gotta tackle this a little differently. But I haven't had one that escaped yet. No, not that I think
If you
about
see
it.
an enemy that you like took its arm off or something and it starts running away from you, let it run away. It's gonna dive into a vent and you're gonna hear him for the rest of the level in the vents waiting to strike. And you don't know
That's
where he's
pretty
gonna
cool.
come from. And this is the same thing that happened in Dead Space where there were like 5 vents in a room and you did not know where the enemy was gonna strike from because they were always in the vents. Glenn Schofield loves his vents. He loves just putting these enemies where you cannot see them and where they're gonna attack from. What I will say, Sol, if it was on your radar, I'd say don't discard it yet, unless you know what it offers is not what you're looking for. If you're interested in a game that you know has a very engaging combat and great atmosphere and it's a beautiful game. It looks great, and the enemies are very gross. If you're into that and the gore and all that, and I would recommend it. But if not, you know, I'd $70. So I know that you know, I know it's a big buy if you're not into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say the same thing like for Valkyrie Elysium, where like if
Yeah.
you're interested in the game's combat and just like the overall atmosphere of it, then yeah, pick it up on when it's on sale.
That's such a
But
fantastic comparison. That's literally the same. That's amazing. That's the
yeah,
same philosophy.
that's literally like my mindset for it. It's like I don't regret buying Callisto yet. I'm still really enjoying my time with it, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where like yeah, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I feel like there's
Yeah.
no really in between.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
but yeah, I
gotcha.
don't regret my purchase. I think it's a fun game so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's again, it's another one of those games that gets in the 70s for a score where I still really like it. There's a bunch of games like that, and I even post on Twitter too, of just like all these games that I played over the years. I got like 50s or 70s, but I still loved playing.
Yeah.
So like, I
Yeah.
feel like the score is just arbitrary at this point. It's a matter what you really play with it. So
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, man. So that is the Callisto Protocol. It sucks because I feel like I don't know. The more that we solve this game, I felt like it was just gonna be like a slam dunk. So like, I
yeah,
don't know,
same.
yeah, also a little bit disappointed that it
Yeah.
turned out the way that it did.
I do think so.
but-
To that point, real quick, I think they should have
Yeah,
marketed a
we
little
gotta
bit of
move
the combat, but that's the one thing they didn't really talk about the game much. So
But yeah, man, that is the Callisto Protocol. Let's move on to the big part of the show, and that is the Game Awards nominees. Our predictions for what is going to win most of these categories. We're not going to do all of them, obviously.
yeah,
we
we'll
gotta
skip
do
some.
esports, man. Come on, we gotta do
Get
esports.
the hell out.
Yeah, we're not doing esports. I can tell you all that right now. So go ahead and just skip all of them.
Oh man, those guys work so hard though.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to pass on that.
Play hard.
But yeah. So where we start? What's first up, Walt?
All right, so we're gonna start voting, and I will click it. All right. Oh my God, no, we'll leave this one for the last one. We're not gonna do Game of the Year now, or do we want to do Game of the Year now?
Nah, let's work our way up.
Okay, so we're gonna start with best game. You know what? Let's go from all the way from the bottom. All right. Best esports event.
Yeah.
We're skipping that, man.
Previous category.
What are you doing here?
Best
What are you doing?
esports
Come
coach, nope. Best esports team, nope. Best esports athlete, nope. Best esports game. Okay, is this one we want to vote on or not? Because I do like some of these games.
on. Man, that's not, you can vote for us then. How about that?
Okay, you know. Oh, do I have to sign in to vote? Are you serious? Give me a second, guys. Oh man, this is live. Live. I need to real quick.
I guess just do League of Legends. Just do League of Legends.
Wait, I need
They
to
always
log in.
win.
I need to log in. I need to.
Let's
Let me
see.
look.
I'm actually looking at it right now too. Let me see. View all the categories.
Okay,
Best
then
esports
I will
game.
vote for Rocket League.
Sure.
Okay. Most anticipated game. All right, y'all. Here we go. And I'm gonna read the description of the category so we can vote with that in mind. Recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably, is that a word?
Illustrated. You're not reading it. You're not reading,
Illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. The games are Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom.
Even though this is like its goddamn third year in it, it's still Zelda in my opinion.
Okay. What do
Your
you
most
think?
anticipated game? You don't have a Switch, sir.
No, I'm saying that what's gonna win that category.
Oh, these are predictions.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
But which one are we voting for?
I mean, yeah, I feel like Zelda's like an easy one, honestly.
Okay. So we
Personally, Hogwarts Legacy is my pick, but
Over
okay.
16?
yeah.
Damn.
What?
Listen, man, it ain't got no Puerto Ricans in there, so I'm not worried about it.
Are we voting with what the public is going to vote for, or are we voting for what we want to vote for?
Well, it is a DualShock Sense vote, so I guess
Yeah, so
whatever
it has to be
we want.
unanimous. So what's your personal most anticipated?
Probably 16.
Okay. I was
But I
leaning
think
to
Zelda
16.
will win.
If I'm being, yeah, no, Zelda will win. My personal is 16 out of these. And you, Macho? Hogwarts?
Yeah. I mean, it's 16 still, obviously, but yeah, I mean, Hogwarts is like a very personal one too because
Okay.
I'm loving everything too. But yeah, 16 of course.
Final Fantasy 16 it is.
Yes, sir.
Best
Yes, sir.
adaptation. Arcane. Cyberpunk
Arcane.
Edge Runners. Yeah, Arcane. Uncharted, Sonic, and Cuphead.
Move on. It's arcade.
For me, it has to be Arcane, dude. Like
It's Arcane.
I,
It's
and I love Cyberpunk Edge Runners too. I've been listening to the soundtrack for that show again, and it's incredible. But Arcane's like on another level, man. It really is.
best debut indie: Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, Vampire Survivors.
I mean, well, the one I'm playing right now as we're doing this podcast, Vampire Survivors for me.
What do you think, Jay?
I could see why people want Stray for that, or Neon White.
You, Jay?
I mean, I hear good things about Vampire Survivors.
Same, yeah.
I would assume it's gonna be that one.
It's good. I mean, I like it so far. I mean, I've been playing for like what 20, 30 minutes now since I bought it on Steam, and it's a lot of fun. It's crazy, and plus it gives me like little Castlevania vibes to it too, which I love. So it's a good game.
Yeah, my personal vote would have been for Neon White because I really enjoy what that game does. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of gameplay, and it looks really fun and engaging. But if we want to do vampires, that's 2-1. So we do vampires.
Yeah,
Okay.
hell yeah.
Content creator of the year. Do we care?
I don't.
I'll say this, and this might be a little unpopular. I feel a little weird about Nibelian being here.
I do too. Yeah.
It feels look, and I love him. Obviously, like I love what he did for the community and all that. It low key feels like a pity award to me.
It does.
Like I'm really not trying to disrespect him, but let's not try to make what he did more than what it really was. Like you look at the rest of these people who I don't know, but obviously they do. I'm assuming they do streams and blah blah blah, right? They're on Twitch and on YouTube, the whole 9 yards. Whereas Nibelian is literally just sort of regurgitating is a strong word, but really just like watching events, or he's the first one that posts sort of like the TLDR of big news that comes out and stuff like that, and that's it. I don't know if that really constitutes as content creation in the way that we are all accustomed to, right? So yeah, I don't know. I feel a little weird about it.
Category says for a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community. Has he made that?
We don't even know who they are.
Nibelian? Yeah, I mean, we didn't know who Dream was, and people still supported him. Dream, a streamer, he always had his. It's like people that don't reveal their face. Like people still vote for them, and it's like like Marshmallow and shit.
Oh, like I mean, I guess, but I don't know. It's just I'm with Saul on this one. Like I'd rather have it be like a content creator, be like a YouTube streamer or something like that. And
okay,
yeah, I feel like blowing it a little out of proportion. Again, it feels like a pity award.
I would go for like I would probably vote for Cutie, Cinderella. These are all streamers, and Carl Jacobs, Ludwig. Ludwig is like he's regarded as like the king of content creation on YouTube. I like most of these. If y'all want, I can just vote. I'll vote for Cutie.
Yeah, go for it.
She's really cool. Best multiplayer game.
Again, I really wish Alex Mukala was in there, but
yeah,
that's what it is.
Best multiplayer: Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Multiversus, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Red Dead Revenge.
I think Splatoon 3 is gonna win this one, but personally,
really?
Oh yeah, for sure. Splatoon 3's community is huge.
Interesting. I can see like Multiversus taking this.
Overwatch 2 had like a really big launch debacle.
Yeah,
and it still does with the price of its skins and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to go with Multiversus because that released in beta very clean. It was one of those games I'll just try it out, see how it is, and then I'll just drop it because it's a free to play game. I ended up playing way longer than I expected and ended up buying 2 season passes. The content, it's a little irregular, but the thing is, it's also a fighting game, so I can see why like it takes a little longer for some stuff to come out. But as far as what the stuff they added to it, I think it's really cool, and that'll be my pick actually. I think multiverse will be it.
Honestly, because of how I'm going based on descriptions, for outstanding online multiplayer, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. It would be between either Teenage Mutant or Call of Duty, because Call of Duty offers massive experiences with Warzone. It has co-op missions and modes, and it has multiplayer. So I think Call of Duty is like the overall. It has everything multiplayer that it needs. So my vote would be for Call of Duty. What about you, Jay?
I don't really have a strong opinion on this category, because I don't really know. I mean, the Overwatch 2, yeah, like I'm familiar with that situation, but then like the rest of the games, I don't really know like what they did. I will say that it feels like Multiverses blew up like immediately in that like first month or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I haven't really heard people talk about it since.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Give it to fucking Splatoon 3, I guess.
So, Macho, you said multiverse like Call of Duty, and he says Splatoon 3. Do you feel one way or the other, Macho?
um, Not particularly, because it's true that multiverse kind of fell off for a little bit, but it still has a pretty strong community. But
Okay.
it's not like I think I kind of what set me a little off the game base for it was the fact when Embracer bought the rights to the Middle Earth projects or the Middle Earth franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely threw in the loop that Gandalf wasn't going to be a character anymore because they needed like all these permissions. So
Right.
I kind of tread off from the game since I haven't played since and maybe when I got back from Hawaii. So
Okay. I'm willing to sway, so I'm gonna sway to Splatoon 3 because I don't know. I just more. I'm not too much into fighting games, so I'll do Splatoon 3.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Multiverse is just it's the fact that it did kind of die off, and Splatoon 3 at the very least offers like the PvE mode.
Yeah. But I'll give Multiverses credit though, because it's the first free to play platform fighter that did blow up.
Mhm.
And I can guarantee you that's going to change a lot of developer heads with seeing the success of Multiverses.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
It's going
Best
to be
esports,
100% influential.
best sports / racing. If no one cares, I will vote for Ali Ali World.
Yeah, Holly World it is.
I don't really care about this one.
Oh, okay. Ali Ali, it is because it's a cool game. I actually played it. Best sim / strategy. Dune, Spice Wars.
Wait. Hold up. First, roller jump should have been in that fucking category. Okay,
Yeah, it's not there. yeah, that's true. I agree. Roller Drone was
and
really
then
snubbed.
yeah. For the best sim strategy, I feel like we can skip that one as well.
Okay, Macho, do you also have it in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna vote regardless for Mario. Okay, because Nintendo. Okay.
Nintendo fanboy at the
Thank you.
work, man.
I don't care. Best family, the Nintendo category. Let me know, y'all. What do y'all think?
It's not going to be Kirby Forgotten Land because that game is trash, but
Okay,
No,
Kirby, it is. Jay, it has to be Kirby, Jay.
I mean, I don't know. This is y'all gotta take this one. I don't have an opinion on this one.
No, who says he likes Kirby in childhood? Huh?
I played like 2 Kirby games as a kid, man.
Hey, man, that's enough. Yeah.
And one of them has like a 60 on Metacritic.
Well, they don't determine anything. Well, Nintendo Switch Sports was like a flop, kind of. People didn't really like it critically. Splatoon 3, we know. Mario Rabbids. Lego Star Wars, really popular, and Kirby Forgotten Land would be my pick. What about you, Macho?
yeah, I think Kirby Forgotten Land too. Yeah,
Yay!
from what I hear about that, like I will play that over the other
All right.
stuff. So
Best fighting. Oh boy. All right, y'all. Talk about it. I'm not talking about it.
yeah, you shouldn't talk about it because you just said 5 minutes before you don't know nothing about fighting games.
Shut the hell up.
I'm surprised you didn't catch that. I was like, oh really?
Shut the hell up.
For me, it'll be DNF Duel. I know this game died off really quickly, but the stuff that that game was just not afraid to kick your ass. And there was just like this really magic moment between the beta and the game's release where everyone was just figuring stuff out because they didn't give you like the actual move set for each character in the beta. So everyone was just really kind of just throwing things out there, and that's when I was having the most fun. And then the first month was just so exciting too, figure out all the different mechanics of the game and when to use certain guard breaks or when to actually push up on an enemy and stuff like that, and figure out different ways to navigate these characters that have really broken moves like full screen or half a screen kind of moves that you just have to learn to dodge around or to react to really quickly. And the online was superb too, like great online. So that'll be my pick. DNF Duel is just that's a standout, even though it died quickly, but um I hope it does get some sort of revitalization for next year or something.
Okay, Jay.
I don't have an opinion on this one either.
Oh God, damn it, guys. I don't.
I'm surprised,
care.
I'm surprised you haven't
I'll-
played Sifu yet, Jay. Actually, I'm surprised. You haven't
Yeah,
played that
Jay,
game yet.
what's wrong with you? I'll vote for DNF Duel. I don't care. You're the fighting connoisseur, whatever the hell. I'll vote for that.
I trust Macho's opinion on this one.
Yeah, I'll trust Macho.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Although this is through my damn account. In my heart, because I go against the current. It would be Sifu. Okay, previous category. Oh man. Oh wow. Best role playing game, guys. Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends, Triangle Strategy, Xenoblade. Oh
This is
man.
a tough one for me personally.
my
This is
God.
really tough.
This will be Elden Ring, without question.
That's who you're voting for?
I mean, that's who it's gonna be.
I mean, obviously, but tell me who you, because this is our vote, Jay. We know Elden Ring's gonna sweep.
I guess I would also pick that one as well from that list.
That is the only one you
Is that,
played.
I could tell you. Well, I could tell you right now, there ain't no way I would pick Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Jesus Christ. This man hates Pikachu. That's wild.
This man hates throwing them balls.
Whoa.
yeah.
Hey, yo. Honestly, I would give it to Live Alive. That's my pick.
I mean, that's a good pick, man.
Love the game.
Damn. Well, because Xenoblade's in other categories, it's either between Live Alive or Triangle Strategy for me.
Mm,
Because I love both so much from what I played this year.
they're really good.
Triangle Strategy is so good with like the different maps and the characters and recruiting them and making them stronger. Like it's so much fun. On top of the fact that you have a golden path, but there's also different ways to navigate the entire story as well. So there's incentive to go back and see those different endings. They did such a great job with that game.
Yeah, I haven't finished it, so because it's a lot of dialogue, and I need to be like
Yeah, it's a lot.
not
Yeah.
tired. If you vote for Triangle, I'm gonna have to swipe. I'll swipe myself between Elden Ring and Triangle, and I'm gonna end up picking Elden Ring. So either you pick Live Live with me, or I pick Elden Ring with Jay.
Well, no, I was gonna say that I think I'm gonna go with Live Alive just because of the variety of the different characters and their levels. I feel like that was so unique. Like it wasn't like Octopath Traveler where all the 8 characters were in one world and everything
Yeah.
felt kind of the same.
Yeah.
Besides their own scenario, stuff like that. For Live Alive, it was like different timelines, and each had their own different fighting mechanics and themes and arts, like not art style, but like different sort of like yeah, I guess art style, right? Because like there's certain ones that had like an 80s style, and there's another one that was caveman.
It's a different style. I don't know art style, but it's a different style.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with Live Alive because that one surprised me the most this year. I feel like
Yeah.
that
Same.
Triangle Strategy, but
I didn't think Live Alive would be so. I voted for that Live Alive would be so fun, and how it all came together at the end. I love it.
yeah, it was fantastic. You actually did more than I did too. You did more of like the end game dungeon stuff like that. I just did the one for the characters at my party, but you did for most of them, right?
I think I did all of them. I think I got the ultimate weapons for all of them.
Yeah.
It's so good. So I loved it. Okay, guys, best action / adventure. And y'all know what it is. Y'all have it in front of you. Let me know. What do we think?
Let me take a look.
We got Plague Tale,
Oh, this is
God
a
of
tough
War,
one, too.
Horizon, Stray, or Tunic. My vote, if for this particular category, action adventure, I'm saying Horizon.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm glad I I started playing it again because this game is amazing. This game is phenomenal. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
like the whole adventure part of it, right? It's like you're kind
Exactly.
of glow trotting, and it really feels like you're going the distance in this game, which is really cool. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Best action. Bayonetta, Call of Duty, Neon White, Sifu, and Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sifu for me.
I would also
That
vote
game,
for Sifu.
I was hella addicted to that game when it first came out.
Jay, have you played anything in this category?
What's on there?
Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, I'm going to play Neon White when that comes to PS5. I think it comes out in like a couple days or something.
Ooh, nice. Okay. So you're good with us voting Sifu then?
Um, I I honestly, and of course I haven't played it, but like I wouldn't be surprised if Bayonetta took it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I man, I hope not.
Really?
Dude, I seriously hope not.
Why?
Because that game's action is, I mean, obviously it's great, and the thing is that they give you a good combat system, but they only give you like maybe 30 seconds in each arena which you're fighting, so you don't get really do any cool moves. And a lot of people argue like, well, that's the point because you're getting, graded based on time, and that's how you get the highest score. But then what's the point of a whole action combat, like the combat system the way it is? Might as well just give me Near Automata, where it's way more simple and to the point. Bayonetta has a lot more complexity to it, like Devil May Cry. And they don't really flesh that out. And then when you do, it's in these huge ass, uh, what's it called, kaiju fights that take up a whole bunch of the screen. You can barely see anything, for at least when you're looking at Bayonetta. And then we actually have a huge kaiju fight between, I forgot one of Bayonetta's things and then something else. The I kid you not, guys. The monsters moving like at slow pace. Like when you do like a punch, the input lag, which is so bad, and then the thing would take 5 seconds to actually wind up and then punch. It was so unbearable. I stopped playing the game after that.
And then supposedly the ending kind of dropped the ball.
And supposedly, yeah, again the ending dropped the ball. So like, while I respect Bayonetta, like in its action, I feel like 2 was not only a better looking game but a better playing game.
I feel like it's just against these other games. I think it's gonna be between Sifu, Bayonetta, or Neon White. Like these are the three that are gonna be. One of these three is gonna win.
Yeah.
But I would vote for Sifu. Then, okay, so voting for Sifu here. Best VR/AR. No one here plays.
Yeah, we
VR.
could probably skip that.
Yeah, I'm voting for
Yeah.
Among Us. I'll vote for Among Us. Among Us. Innovation and accessibility. As Dusk Falls, God of War, Return to Monkey Island, Last of Us Part 1, The Quarry.
I think it comes down between Ragnarok and Part 1.
I agree.
But it's honestly a toss up between those two.
It could be the Quarry too, because they had some really cool. They have like this movie mode in that game where the game essentially plays itself, but you get to see different scenarios and you get to watch it like as a movie, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, me and Sammy loved that game. We're looking forward to doing another playthrough in that. But in all honesty, I think Jay is right. It's either between Part 1 or Ragnarok.
Then let's vote for the game we actually played.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with Ragnarok just for the fact that like all the different options in there were just insane.
I agree. Ragnarok.
I forget if it was Part 1, but I feel like they have something with the DualSense specifically where it was like a braille almost like within the DualSense.
Oh, I have no idea.
If that's a thing, I'm gonna vote for. Wait, what?
I need to wait a second.
The only thing I remember about Last was Part 1 that like really impressed me as far as accessibility was they had a voice text. What was it called? A text voice or whatever. But God of War has the same thing where they did basically say back to you what you're seeing on the screen.
And with
So
the buttons,
there's a
yeah.
feature. There's a feature that enables players to play dialogue through the console's DualSense controller as haptic feedback.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's. I've never seen a game do that. It's really, really fucking cool.
Macho, you go with
So let
changing
me
the vote?
it's specifically for deaf players. So let me read a quote really quick.
I mean, that's innovation right
from
there.
That's
So.
innovation for sure.
from a from the game director on the project. So, a feature that started as a prototype but ended up being really successful during playtesting is a feature that plays dialogue through the PS5 DualSense controller's haptic feedback. That way, a deaf player can feel the way a line is delivered, can feel the emphasis along with the subtitles to give some sense of how that line is delivered. That's really fucking cool.
That is insane. Okay, Last of Us it is. That is insane. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either. Again, the biggest thing for me was the voice text one. I thought that was just really cool how they had cutscenes that are basically describing the scene.
So this remake
And
is
it-
not
and-
even just like a remake for the game purposes. It's also accessibility forward.
Also, like that's like we're in what year 2, and it's cool seeing the DualSense like still being used in like cool, interesting ways like that.
Yeah, it's not a gimmick. It's not
That's
just
what
a
it says.
gimmick.
It's the best controller out there, man.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right. Best community support. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness. Apex, Destiny 2, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. There's nothing more here. There's nothing else here. I'm kidding. Final Fantasy 14 as well is here.
Yes, sir. Come on now. Come on.
I would honestly vote for Final Fantasy or Destiny 2. Because it's community support.
I feel like the Destiny community has kind of been like mad at Bungie a lot of this year.
Well, they're
to be honest.
supporting
Why?
them. It's hard love.
Why is that? Why? That's because
I
of the feedback or content?
I don't know specifics, but like there's like I don't know like
They're
'cause
always
I
bitter.
follow. No, like I follow Paul Tassi and Skill Up, and they're big Destiny players. It just seems like the consensus or the feeling that I get around them, and like because they have like big Destiny communities, the feeling I get whenever they tweet, it's always like complaints about the state of that game. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right, that's that then.
Honestly,
I
yeah.
just know that I know the Final Fantasy 14 community is kind of like up in a not an uproar, just more just like I guess they're complaining that they're bored with the content, but it's also because of the lull between different patches. But
Yeah.
but from what we've seen last, everyone's really enjoying the new relic quests.
So between these two, which one's inclusive of social media activity and game updates / patches?
It's definitely 14.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, Final Fantasy then. Are you good with that, Jay?
Yeah.
All right. Sponsored by Discord. Best mobile game, y'all. Apex Legends, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, Tower Fantasy. My vote is for Marvel Snap.
Tower Fantasy because
Hey yo.
never mind.
Hey yo, what that image got you feeling something?
No.
Yeah.
Nah, never mind.
Oh
never
yeah,
mind.
yeah. No, I bet. No.
Slightly.
Diablo Immortal one should get you feeling something too.
What?
What?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Marvel Snap, I've been playing it nonstop every day, at least for a few minutes. I love the game. It is addicting. There's no predatory microtransactions. There's the upgrades to your cards. It's a card game. Are purely aesthetic wise. Aesthetic, you're not upgrading to have more power. And I think it's a nice, it's a cool card game. So that's my.
I have it
vote.
downloaded, but I haven't played it yet.
It's really good. I recommend it. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I think Snap will probably take it.
Snap. Okay. And your vote?
Surprisingly, because we saw that at the presentation, we're like, what garbage is this?
Nah, but that shit's great. It's fantastic. I play it every day when I'm like commuting to work. But yeah, that's my vote. And you said Tower Fantasy for real, Macho?
No, I never played that. Go
Okay,
Marvel Snap.
I didn't know if you played it. Probably Genshin is taking it.
Probably, yeah. That game is just so
It's
massive.
either that or Marvel. What's your personal vote, Jay, even if you don't care?
Probably Snap, I guess.
Okay. Snap it is, ladies and gents. Best indie, y'all. Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, Tunic. First of all, Cult of the Lamb is taking it hands down.
Probably, yeah.
My vote for a game that I've played, it would be Sifu, because that's the one that I've played from here, and honestly, it's a great debut game, which is not a great indie. Rather, earlier it was debut indie. It's a great indie. What about you, Jay?
I think Cult of the Lamb will also take it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't be surprised if Stray takes it.
Probably.
In all honesty, it probably should because it's in Game of the Year.
It's
But-
yeah,
Yeah.
which we'll get to that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, mine would be C. Again, I was so addicted to it, and the sense of accomplishment from platinuming the game was one of the best I had this year.
Yeah. So which one would you vote for then?
Sifu.
Okay, and Jay.
Cult of the Lamb.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, Sifu it is. Honestly, I'm gonna wait for Cult of the Lamb to play it because there's a physical edition coming out for PlayStation. And I am getting my hands on that for sure. Previous category: Best Ongoing Game, awarded for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Genshin Impact. I'm gonna be honest. My vote is for Fortnite because
Interesting.
it just keeps evolving. It doesn't stop. It really doesn't. There's always events. There's always new skins. There's always new chaos going on the map.
For me, it's either between Final Fantasy 14 or Genshin Impact, and I know I don't play Genshin Impact that much anymore, but what that game has done, just in general, it's just been insane. For, like the amount of content drops and characters, and
Yeah.
like, how it gets everybody hyped. Like it feels like that, like it's its own Fortnite in some ways.
And it's free.
But- And yeah, exactly. And
I
it's
mean,
free,
quote
which is
unquote,
insane.
because you know
Yeah.
it's a gotcha game. This is the only game here that's a gotcha.
But even then, like I reviewed it for Lords of Gaming, and it's a fantastic gotcha game. Like
Yeah.
I never felt compelled to really like dish out additional money because I was getting characters on a regular basis, and then you had a lot of content to do in the game, and it was all fun.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that took it, but Final Fantasy 14, I haven't played like a ton lately, so
Mhm.
I had to assume that all the content drops have been great. But I mean, for last time I played, like it was all fantastic. I did a bunch of streams this year for it too. The story is getting really good. So yeah, I think I'll go with Final Fantasy 14. I kind of convinced myself to
Yeah.
choose 14 anyways,
yeah.
but
That's what it's about. What about you, Jay?
I really don't know with this category either.
you played Destiny 2 though.
I did, so I guess I should vote for that.
Okay, so, so that's 1 to 1 to 1.
Yeah.
By
I
the
mean,
way,
yeah,
when I
just to
sway,
be-
I don't mind like swaying. Just so y'all know. So yeah, Jay, what are you saying?
To be frank, like I loved my time with Destiny 2. Like it was genuinely a blast. So yeah, I'll be happy to vote for that.
Okay. So I will sway.
We'll give it for variety's sake. I'll say Destiny 2.
You'll say Destiny. Oh yeah, I was gonna go to Destiny 2. Let's go Destiny 2. Best ongoing content.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gains for Impact. Okay, this one I have no idea about. I've
Yeah, we
played.
can skip that.
Yeah, I've played none of these. I am interested, however, in a lot of these.
I'll be right back. By the way, give me a couple minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh
You guys can continue on with the best performance. I think it's next.
yeah. I mean, Jay. So it has to be Christopher Judge for me. It has to be. Like.
Yeah, I would think so too. But let me also just quickly shout out What's the
Charlotte
Plague Tale girl's name? Charlotte, yeah,
McBurney,
Charlotte
yeah.
McBurney. She was fucking awesome in Plague Tale. She. I mean, right now, like obviously, I haven't finished Ragnarok yet. Amicia is still my favorite character of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to finish Ragnarok because obviously I do think Kratos will take it because I'm absolutely loving his character and what they're doing with him in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just really want to give Charlotte her flowers because I think any other year, if this wasn't a Kratos year, I think Charlotte would have taken it. She reminds me honestly of like Melissa Jurgens, who played Senua from Hellblade
Oh, really?
in maybe not like not specifically talking about like their characters, but just someone that we haven't really heard much from in the gaming industry, and she kind of comes into the scene and blows up because of this game. This game sort of propels her into like a new stratosphere almost. I feel like, and that's what Requiem did for me in terms of like just how I see Charlotte now as an actor. Like I think she's amazing, man. So yeah, want to give her flowers, but I think Kratos will probably take it.
Yeah, I do agree, and I will get into Plague Tale later on this year, and I'm excited to see what she does. I enjoyed her in Innocence, but it's not insanely over the top. I do enjoy her. Is it Charlotte in Innocence as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't played Immortality, so I don't know about Manon Gage, and I mean credit where credit's due. I think Sunny does a great job as Atreus.
Yeah.
And Ashley Birch, she is a fantastic performer. However, I don't think Aloy is like her performance as Aloy is. It's not the most crazy thing. It's not the craziest thing.
Yeah, that's my thing with Forbidden West overall is that like I just feel like what I'm expecting from sequels in not just games but from anything is just like characters to be really pushed against the status quo and put into some like really uncomfortable situations. Like sure, like Aloy gets put into those situations a little bit here and there, but like I just feel like they didn't really push that character as far as they could have. Like the major lesson of that game for her character was to accept the help of others, right? That was
Right.
sort of the big thing,
Not
right?
be so
And I'm
closed
just like,
off.
right, and I don't know. I just wish they really, really like bent that character a lot more than they ended up doing. Um, and yeah, I don't know.
It sucks because there are moments where you see a little bit of that Aloy that you really want. Whenever it's like when she's facing Regala, she's like, "Come down here, just you and me," and it's like you see her like really come out and really show how fierce she can be and how like commanding she can be, and but most of the time she's like it's very monotone, and it's just the same inflection, it's the same kind of vibe. Whether she's mad or sad or happy, it's kind of like the same almost. Um,
Yeah.
Whereas you listen to Kratos and he is, oh man, that I cannot wait until you finish that game, or we can talk about it. So we want to wait for Macho. We want to vote here.
Well, I mean, I'm here. I'm back.
So Jay, Soul would be vote for Charlotte, and I would vote for Christopher Judge.
Hold up, because I feel like Macho is perfect to ask this as well. What did you think about Aloy in Forbidden West?
Oh,
Because
yes.
like we were saying that like we just felt like her as a character, she wasn't like we were really hoping that character was going to be pushed and put into some like really truly like uncomfortable positions and like to bend her a little bit, and like
Right.
I feel like they just didn't really push her that much in Forbidden West as much as we would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's because even like the biggest revelations in that game, she kind of tackles is like something she just rolls off her shoulder. Something she just wants to get.
Right.
Like she feels like she's. I almost feel she's a little bit invincible to all like the crazy plot that does happen in that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of plot armor.
Like well, more just like again, the biggest revelations from that is the whole Zenith saga and sort of that the ending and what that all really means. And she kind of just like Okay, well, let's do it. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
She's like,
don't you
over
feel
here. And
don't you
she's
feel the weight of this thing? Like this is like a massive, like problem.
yeah, she's always
It
over
doesn't
here, you
feel,
know, very here, and I'm gonna go here,
yeah.
you know.
And well, the
And
one
it's
thing that
like
kind of annoyed me with that game too, she's like, "Well, I know I'm the hero, so I know I had to do it." So it's like, okay, to like pull it back a little bit, you know.
and
And
like
to be really honest, I found the side characters more interesting than
Hmm.
her. To be real clear,
it's like it's not like those instances like didn't exist in that game where she
right?
is doubting herself and there's times when she feels like she can't do the things that she's destined to do. But
Yeah,
I also do agree that like, it really does feel like it's just kind of like going through the motions for her a lot of the times.
yeah,
Like I don't know, I was much more invested in her journey in Zero Dawn than I was in Forbidden West.
interesting. Because I think Forbidden
That makes
West was
sense.
more for me. Forbidden West is more about, like you mentioned, the side characters. Like I really enjoy. I enjoy more. I don't know if actually Birch did beta. I assume she did. Beta feels more nuanced and like there's more going on there. Uh, a moment that Aloy really breaks, and you kind of see a bit of that is also when Varl gets, decimated, and she's like, she goes on the floor and she's like, damn it, and like you see her in this frustration and agony, but then that's it. It takes a few seconds, and then Tilda, takes them out or whatever. Um, yeah, honestly, I would say take out her Horizon's her performance there and put Tiny Tina. I think Ashley Burgess' Tiny Tina is like way more memorable and more engaging than Aloy. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And where's Danielle Bisutti? Where's Freya? What happened? Like Freya's so
I don't know.
good. Why is she not here?
I kind of agree with Soul's point too that I think we all I think at least I like her journey more in Zero Dawn,
yeah,
and it's
it's more
also one of
about
the
her.
sentiments but it's also one of the sentiments I see for God of War as well. People like God of War 2018 more because of the kind of boxed in story that was Kratos and Atreus and Ragnarok's a lot bigger, more epic, more scope.
Less
But I
personal.
still think but even then, I still think it really does accomplish those personal relationship between father and son as well.
Of
Like
course.
truly. So like
Mm-hmm.
in this sense, for me, it would be Christopher Judge,
Mm-hmm.
just because I was gonna vote for Sonny, but I think like the last 2-ish hours of the game, his performance is just blew me away.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
I was absolutely tearing up at like the end of this game and
Yeah.
multiple
Same.
times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it
I
to
agree.
Judge.
All right, so Judge it is. Mind you, all of these, I don't know about Immortality. I don't know how her performance is. If she's here, she must be incredible. I wanna try Immortality, but all of these, amazing. All great performers.
Is that made from the same dev that did Her Story? I think it was.
Don't know.
It's the same kind of game, right? Where it's like a like decision based sort of movie game.
Maybe I'm not sure. What is Immortality? Is it like a story game? Story-driven game?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, from the bits I remember of seeing it, it was something like her. I think it was Her Story, where it was like kind of like a pseudo horror game, where you just were like reading emails and watching like these video clips of the woman like in a room or something like that. I don't know, but I think it's something of the same
Oh.
length. Yeah, I
No,
think
I've
it's
seen
something of the
those type of
same.
games. I know the ones you mean. I might know
Yeah,
which one
yeah.
it is because there's a couple of ones that look like that. Um, okay, guys. Best audio design: Call of Duty, Elden Ring, God of War, Gran Turismo, Horizon Forbidden West. From the get go, Elden Ring is not. No, the audio design is nothing to rave about. Like, why is this here? Like, a huge thing that was talked about was like it's literally recycled a lot of recycled things from past FromSoft games.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed by that too.
And God of War,
So
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
so isn't it crazy that there are three Sony Interactive Entertainment games in this category? That's pretty crazy.
It's
insane.
it's industry leading, sir. It's
They came out. There's actual games. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, no, wait.
Uh,
So they're no longer Sony exclusives. It's also on PC. So you got, they're coming to PC. So gotta be careful. Gotta be.
I don't know, man. I feel like I mean GT. That's their whole thing, right? Just
Hmm.
like
I agree.
how realistic. I mean, I mean, I would think playing that game with 3D audio is a fucking experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if that takes it.
Mm-hmm.
But also the sound design in Ragnarok and Forbidden West is also good.
Yeah.
So
I would say Forbidden West because of the different ways that the machines are developed
yeah,
and how they
that's good.
sound. It's insane.
Yeah, like they're very distinct,
Yeah,
honestly.
the snake. What's the snake called? Whenever that appears, and you hear just like those sound waves are rippling in the air, and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die."
Yeah, and even then, just the ambient sound too in that game, how every environment feels and sounds differently. I think
Absolutely.
it's a real testament to like kind of their sound design team and just the research goes into doing that kind of stuff too, like hearing Aloy move in the sand and stuff like that, and
Or the
all of
snow
the
and
kind of
the
things. Yep.
river on the side, and you're in the forest, and you hear the machines in the bushes, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Forbidden West,
Yeah. For me, for sure.
Soul,
I'm gonna go GT.
GT. Okay, we'll do Forbidden West. However, my vote would have been Gran Turismo if I hadn't played Forbidden West this week. Uh, Best score in music. Oh my god, this one's tough. Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War, Metal Hellsinger, Xenoblade.
For me, it's I love Xenoblade. I really do.
Yeah.
But I feel like the soundtrack is like a step below even two. Um,
Interesting.
it gets the job done for what it is. It's a Xenoblade game and it's has great music, but compared to one and two, I feel like it wasn't as grand. It's I guess people would make this assumption that it is what it needed to be,
Hmm.
and that's okay. But for me personally, I feel like it was a step down. So, God of War Ragnarok for me, I play that constantly. I'm at work on car rides, just thinking about the layers of each track as well, and yeah, it's fantastic. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. Soul.
Um, it's between for me. It's between Ragnarok and Plague Tale.
Mm-hmm.
I
Plague
feel like
Tale's a
I've
good
already
one
talked.
too.
Yeah, I've already talked extensively about a Plague Tale's soundtrack. I'm just a big fan of like really dark and heavy strings in any sort of soundtrack. Then that entire game is
Strings.
that.
Yeah. It's like the
Um,
first one. It's all strings.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And it matches that time period perfectly.
Absolutely.
So, um, yeah, I'll lean more towards a Plague Tale just simply because I haven't heard everything from Ragnarok's soundtrack yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also
That's
and it's
fair.
also because like the songs that I have heard from Ragnarok are or like most of the songs I've heard from Ragnarok are moments I haven't reached yet. And for me, the big thing is like, okay, how do they implement these pieces of music like in the moment, like when you're in a big battle, like how does that particular sound like enhance the entire battle or
Mm-hmm.
the entire moment or whatever, right? And so like I don't have that context yet when I'm thinking about songs like All Father or I listened to Giantess of the Ironwood first on just YouTube before I even reached to that moment, right? And whereas a Plague Tale, like I experienced that entire soundtrack while I was playing the game, and and that just enhanced
Yeah,
all
it
of those
compliments real
moments.
good. Yeah, compliments real well.
Yeah, so like for that reason, because I haven't experienced all of Ragnarok's music within, as I'm playing the game yet, I'm gonna lean more towards Plague Tale first, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I can't wait for a spoiler cast with Ragnarok because there's a specific moment, and I think Macho might know, where there's a certain song that's playing, and it gets and it's like the most epic panoramic, just like it's the camera slowly moving, and something's going on, that the music just ramps up more and more. Oh my god,
It's awesome.
it's incredible.
We'll talk about the spoiler cast, but it's like one of those moments
Chills,
that
chills.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Ragnarok it is. However, close second Plague Tale because I listened to the one you sent, the No Turning Back. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
And real quick, guys, do you both enjoy? Just as a recap from last one, I asked the same question. I'm gonna ask it again. Do you like Elden Ring's music?
It's good.
I mean,
I like it, but it's
Okay.
not like Bloodborne for me or Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
we talked about it extensively in the last podcast. So if anyone wants to hear our like full thoughts on Elden Ring soundtrack, I would say go back to that one.
Episode 83. Yep. All right, guys. Best art direction. Oh wow, there's a theme here. Elden Ring, God of War Horizon, Scorn, and Stray.
We talked about this a little bit too, Walt.
We did.
We're going back between Horizon and Elden Ring, and that's because Horizon has the monster designs, which were incredible.
And then Elden Ring has a very, very fleshed out open world that it speaks. The whole point of Elden Ring is it speaks through its environment and items and lore, and I think that art direction there is superb. If anything,
Yeah.
it's the best. It's the most picturesque game here. I haven't played Scorn. I hear it has like what's it, H.H. Guyver or something. Like it's like an old school artist. It's like old school games. It like really does it well.
H.R. Geiger.
H.R. Geiger, yeah. I saw some of those games when I heard about it. I see how it's very, very. It pays homage to that. I would vote for Elden Ring if I'm being honest here. What about y'all?
This one's tough because I feel like the more I thought this one was a clear cut answer at first, but the more I started thinking about Horizon, it's like start thinking about how all the tribes people are like designed, right? Their different
Oh my
outfits.
God, that's true.
Just how detailed those outfits are, and obviously like the face paint and the hairstyles, right? Like I feel like for the most part, no two NPCs look the same, if that makes sense.
You're right. You're 100%
They're
right.
all
They look like real people. So
not even that. Just plainly speaking about their outfits, and then even Aloy's outfits, the plethora of outfits that you can get for her as well, right?
yeah,
I think about the cauldrons, which continue to look really really cool.
yeah.
The far future versions of like once you reach San Francisco and how cool that looked, right?
Yeah. How you
Just
can
the
distinguish
environments.
from a Karja and a Tanakh than a Quen, like how you can instantly just tell who's who.
And that's art direction right there. And then you already talked about the machines, right?
Yeah.
But even just like man, like I was playing the other day and like going from like the top of a like this big like snowy cliff and then just like gliding down and just seeing like the sort of like blue pink horizon in the background as like morning is just starting to like come up, right? Like
Yeah.
that shit is just gorgeous to look at. But then at the same time there was no other moment that dropped my jaw quite like reaching the Soifra River for the first time in Elden Ring, right? That
Yep.
elevator ride, and then seeing just like being like, where the fuck am I? Like how like what is
Dude,
this?
reaching when you open that chest and you get teleported to Caelid and you see these crystal mines with these giant bugs and you go out and it's this decrepit ruin that's like there's like mages around and there's fog and it's very like it's desolate but it feels lived in, and then you go into Caelid and you see this river of rot and poison, and then when you go below the Nox City and you see the stars underneath the ground, like it's both these games look so good, and then you keep descending and you see these giant bugs and the big ants and you keep descending and then it's a river of rot again and it's super red and there's a rotting corpses, and then you go even below that and there's the big bug creature from the space whatever, Astel. Oh my god, it's
Yeah, I mean, I love Stormvale Castle. I thought that was
Stormville Castle, dude.
Yeah, I
When
thought
you
that was
reach
awesome.
Godric and you see all the gravestones and he's all grafted with his arm and there's the dead dragon and everything looks so epic and it looks so well fleshed out. But then you make good points though with Horizon, and I think the people feel so well. They feel fictional, but also very tied to reality with how they're so culturally diverse and fleshed out in terms of design.
No, also, so like I said that there was no moment that hit me quite like the reaching the Soifa River for the first time, but I also think um going to that whole Las Vegas section in Forbidden West is a
Mhm.
close second.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
seeing it all light up and just doing the underwater portions and stuff like that. Like that was also a really cool moment that I think showed off the art direction of that game really well.
And also I'll highlight another moment when you're fighting Radon and it gets slowly really dark and the stars come out and then you just see this big ball of fire and he turns purple when he gets to the ground and the gravity magic is amplified and everything around you just gets like this nice tint of purple. I don't know. Man, what great games we had this year.
I mean, I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to God of War Ragnarok's character design.
Oh, for
That
sure.
the
And
way
the
they
different
designed
realms.
Odin and the realms too, yeah, for sure. But like just the way they designed Odin to be
Mm-hmm.
like you were saying before, well, like this mobster of a character,
Hey.
and I love how Thor looks too. And then I'm not gonna say the other characters just for soul's sake, but
Yeah.
just like the whole art direction, character direction they did for the game, I thought was just so
Incredible.
perfect, and it feels so right, you know.
And mind you, Eric Williams confirmed that some of the inspiration for Odin was one of the. It's a movie that has a gangster, and the person he mentioned is a gangster. That so, it's like that. It's like you mentioned. So when we first talk about Odin, he's very unhinged. He's like at the edge, and it's kind of like a mobster. You know, you live that double life of trying to be a civilian but also a criminal, and it's like you're gonna get caught, and you're trying to manipulate, and you're trying to keep everything like under your thumb and it could slip at any moment. So God of War Ragnarok, yeah, credit where credit's due. It has fantastic design and all the different armor pieces and everything is so well intricately designed and I think like there's certain armor that has etched like certain messages and like the Leviathan itself has like certain messages on it and etched on it. So that's really cool attention to detail. Um, Oh my god, the spoiler cast is gonna be
All right, so
crazy.
what are we voting for?
Scorn. I'm kidding. I don't know.
I know, right? Score.
Soul, you decide.
At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Score takes it because that's like that. That's the one thing that game has. I feel like.
Art direction. just
Yeah.
just art direction. Yeah.
It's like let's be honest, like that game's art direction solely its art direction is
Enough.
enough to make people, like reject it altogether, right? And I
Mhm.
think that's the sign of a really powerful direction in art. If
That is true.
you can look at a game and just be like, nope, that's not I'm not playing that.
Yep. That being
True.
said, so you added one more to the list of deciding. God damn it, so you just made it more complicated. No, I'm kidding. So
Yeah.
what do we vote for, y'all? What are we so definitively so what are you leaning more towards?
I'll go Elden Ring.
Macho?
Yeah, same.
Elden Ring it is. But mind you, all of these can easily Stray, I don't know, I haven't played it. And Scorn, but I've seen more Scorn than Stray. Do you think Stray has great art direction? Soul?
It's
I
all
mean, just from my scene, it absolutely does. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Haven't
It's
seen
it's more it's more of like the neon cyberpunk aesthetic look to it, and on top of like the way the cat animates and the way it looks, like it's a gorgeous game. So
man.
we'll give it its flowers, but yeah, I think
2022 has been a solid game for the year for a solid year for games.
absolutely.
Best narrative, y'all. Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Immortality.
God of War,
God of War, man.
easy.
That's
I'm not gonna vote on this one.
yeah, because you haven't finished either. I haven't played God of War, but did you finish Plague Tale?
I'm still like one chapter away from the ending, but I mean
Okay.
up to I'm on chapter 16 out of 17, and it's been a fantastic story so far. And I hear that
Okay.
the ending is absolutely brutal, which the game has already been brutal. So I'm looking forward to the ending. But
Nice.
if I had to choose today, it would be Plague Tale.
Yeah.
But of course, take it with a grain of salt because I haven't finished Ragnarok.
Okay. So God of War, it is. Man, what a game. Best game direction. Outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Immortality, Stray. Literally the same ones as before.
This is This is the one I feel like could be like any one of them either, because
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West is great in its game direction because a lot of people say it's a Ubisoft clone, but it's probably the best Ubisoft clone. Let's be honest.
So
Everything is seamless.
let's
The side quests,
emphasize vision and innovation.
right? So the main quest again is when you in Horizon Forbidden West, well, maybe you'd be like, oh, this I'm gonna love this more than I initially thought. Was when the main quest broke into 3 different parts,
Mm-hmm.
to 3 different sections of the map. You could do it however you want. I thought that was incredible. Um,
Okay.
Elder Ring was the carrot on the stick for the entire game, and that kind of feat is nothing to really to blow backs on. So I feel like that was really good. And God of War Ragnarok is great because of the level design itself. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tough one. What do you think?
I'm gonna go to what I initially thought made Horizon Zero Dawn so special, and I think Forbidden West just elaborates on that. And it's the fact that it was achieved, the fact that you mixed sci-fi with primitive philosophy, the fact that you can have sci-fi and such, like, you know, tribes and bows and arrows and bombs and everything just makes sense. Like, Aloy can have a bolt caster, and I'm like, yeah, no, you know, it's tribes. We're in the before times, but no, this is the future, and it nothing feels jarring. That moment when Aloy and Tilda are talking on the balcony of her, you know, ruined mansion. It doesn't feel like these two don't fit in the same picture, but somehow they made that work. Where this immortal woman, thousands of years old, with this recently born girl that or lady that is primitive to the bone, it just made sense. And that vision and innovation in game direction and design is insane. For me, Horizon Forbidden West would take it. They made something that shouldn't have worked work. What about you, Sol?
I think this one is also between Ragnarok and Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, when I think about direction, like I just immediately associate that with someone like a Miyazaki, you know?
A visionary, yeah.
Sure.
Which he said that he did. That
He says sure.
he literally
Damn.
he literally has a vision that I don't think anyone can achieve in terms of his games.
Ooh, actually, you know what? Oh, I don't know. He kind of took a
Uh-oh.
hit from me. He kind of took a hit from me with Elden Ring after some of those bosses. I don't know what he was thinking putting the Godskin duo in a single room together. I don't know. I don't know. That's bad direction in my opinion.
I mean, mind you, that was horrible. Not only in there's 2 of them, how the health bar worked.
Well,
They can
actually,
revive each other.
I can butt in real quick because I was watching a streamer that was defending Elden Ring's horrible parts, saying that it was necessary and the game would have been worse if they didn't have those
Oh
parts.
my god.
Because in order to know the best stuff about the game, you have to go through the worst parts about the
No,
game.
you're not marrying the game. That
And
works
that's-
if you're
and
getting
that's-
married.
And that's the journey of Elden Ring, is going through the bad and the good. That's what makes it such a great game.
No, that makes
And
no
when I
sense.
heard that, I was like, "You're copium."
Copium, man.
That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I was baffled. I was hearing from this guy. I was like, "Dude, you're not serious, are you?" Like, a bad, like, not fun parts in the game are just not fun parts. And we talked about it with Callisto. We talked about it with Elden Ring. We
Yep.
talked about Horizon Forbidden West. Like, they're just not fun parts. And Goskin Duo was not a fun part in Elden Ring.
Yep.
I don't care what kind of journey it took me on. It was one I didn't like and didn't want
I
to
would
do
argue
again.
Elden Beast was not a fun fight. That is not a fun fight.
Millennia was not a fun fight.
Fire Giant is not a fun fight. There's a lot of bad fights in that game.
That whole fucking area, the whatever the giants, that area,
Yeah.
Mountaintops of the Giants, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
That area sucks. You know,
It's bad.
I'll totally admit that. Millennia sucks. You know.
She does. She really does. She's not. Listen, I think Elden Ring. Even Miyazaki said, what was it? I think yesterday he said that he didn't
you know what?
expect this success. He didn't expect it to like blow out this way. Like even he was like baffled at how people received this game.
let me go in for a second.
Do it.
You know,
Here we go.
repeating bosses also suck. You know,
Yes,
the
sir.
repetitive, the same
Repeating
repetitive
dungeons suck. There's a copy and
also
paste
suck.
dungeon. Sucks.
You know, seeing Estelle, you know, a really cool boss in fuck, where do you meet Estelle for the first?
He's
At
in the
bottom
very
of
bottom of the map.
Soy Front, right?
Yeah.
And then seeing him again in a random goddamn dungeon sucks. You know,
Yeah.
um, seeing previous bosses made into just normal enemies in later areas of the game also sucks. You know,
PvP co-op working only in enclosed spaces and you having to unjoin and rejoin to get you just a few feet ahead because of an invisible wall sucks. It sucks that it's open
I could
zone.
go-
No, it sucks. It sucks. So it sucks that you have to rejoin every time that you're with someone just because you can't cross to the other area. Make it open. Is it not open world? Are you not entertained? It
I'm
sucks.
just saying I could go on. I can go on.
It sucks.
But, yeah.
Macho, what does suck? You need to say your part. What sucks about Elden Ring?
Man, I was on this train like months ago, and you were up my ass about it. Like,
Yeah, well, we don't talk about the
It's
past.
still a quick.
I'm on your team now. I like Horizon. I think Elden Ring is overrated. What do you think about Elden Ring?
Again, I respect what it is, and I think the best thing about that game is the legacy dungeons and the open world.
Yeah, what
but
should
the
have been
open
in
world-
the game?
But the open world, I already familiar with Breath of the Wild, so. I
You
don't
know
I
what
feel like-
made the Chalice dungeons work in Bloodborne? Is that I could just go to the side and in the hub and access them. They were not in the way, and I didn't have to cross thousands of them to get to the other boss.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the game direction for Elden Ring is still good, but
good,
it
yeah,
definitely
it's
has like its like again, for me, like at least I have his blemishes of just doesn't make it in the same area with the other games I played this year, including for Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok. So for direction, I'm gonna say God of War Ragnarok because Eric Williams is a monster.
Yep.
Corey Barlog was right.
He really was.
That was the man for a job. Eric Williams said it in post interview, so I won't say what he said. But,
Yeah, careful, because I
yeah,
know what he said.
yeah, I won't specify, but Corey Barlog gave him 3 things that needed to happen in this game. He fulfilled them all, and landed on his feet, and ended off in such a beautiful way. Like,
Yeah, what was the discussion they had? Can you make it in 2? Like in 2 games, or do we need 3? He's like, we can make it in 2. All right, and Ragnarok was born. Ragnarok's supposed to be like 2 games in 1, and it works.
yeah. So the fact that they really like accomplished that for
Yeah.
me, I think it's incredible. So
Amazing.
like, to be honest, I can't see any other director doing this game other than Eric Williams now.
Absolutely.
So whatever his name is attached to next, I'm paying attention to it.
So I'm willing to get it to God of War. What do you think? So is it God of War or Elden Ring for you?
God of War.
All right, God of War takes it. Da 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 da.
The Big Kahuna, Game of the Year.
Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. With that being said, all technical fields, Elden Ring is excluded. No,
and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah, no, Xenoblade and Elden Ring are not there. So it's either gonna be Plague Tale, Horizon, or God of War. Discuss.
Or Stray.
Or Stray. I haven't played Stray. Or Plague
I
Tale.
kind of hope Stray wins it all. To be honest,
Dude.
I really.
I hope
It's a
Stray
little
wins just to like.
ridiculous that it's
You-
You think so, Sol? You think it's?
yeah. Listen, I played and beat that game. I enjoyed it. It's a little ridiculous that it's in here. I think, and again, this goes back to what we were saying in the last podcast, and I think this more line ties into not necessarily the quality of the game, but the impact. Like, what did this game do impact wise? And I think that overshadows the actual quality and like what was actually in the game. Right, because like there was another like this game was like nominated for like what best like action or something like that or best action adventure. Like, I'm like, come on, that does not make any sense, man. Oh yeah,
I mean,
I think it's purely because of that.
to be a devil's advocate for Stray, I think when I read the description of absolute best experience across all creative and techno fields, I feel it's just that people really like how a cat was creatively like introduced in a game and how they developed that story. I guess technically the game didn't sound like it had bugs or like it was like game breaking bugs or performance issues. So technically it was a sound game, I guess. Stray being
Is that all that it takes to be game of the year? Like,
all, no,
no.
something that you see here in all these games is that a game for being game of the year is a complete game. All these games are complete. There, you don't need to buy anything extra. You don't need to. There's no microtransactions in any of these. Uh, I think they're just full packages. Like you have a
Yeah,
fully fledged game in all of these,
100%. Yeah.
and that's not something every game. Which I think Kirby should be here instead of Stray. But I think these all these games are like worthy of game of the year. But if you put Stray against God of War, it's kind of wait, what's going on?
Um, I'm really happy that Xenoblade 3 is here just for the representation alone. Because now people
JRPGs.
are gonna look at this, yeah, and just and just dive into that series, and that's incredible. So I'm happy that it's here. And I said before that I love Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The story is amazing. The characters are probably my favorite cast in the Xenoblade series so far, and that says a lot for me because I love Xenoblade 1's cast immensely. Um, and 3 just beat them out for me. Again, the ending is really heartbreaking and just really does justice to all the characters as well. It's so good, but for me, Ragnarok just hit like a real personal note, man. And I love Horizon Forbidden West too. Like, again, everything on here is amazing, and Elden Ring was awesome too, and I love that. But again, I had my gripes with it, and I found Horizon Forbidden West to be the more fun game for me in that time span. But God of War Ragnarok, man, just again, that story, the music, how everything blends together, feels like a real good tight package of a game. Where all the others ones, it just kind of felt like I don't know. I feel like a little I don't know. There's like certain moments in each of the games here that besides Ragnarok that felt a little separate from one another. Again, I haven't played Plague Tale, so I don't know, but I feel like I don't know a little bit like a less cohesion than what Ragnarok did. And what really like kind of settled that for me was the endgame content that really brought it all full circle. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what else they're gonna do in the future.
I think the way that the side content and end game content work with Ragnarok and how everything just feels like it's all part of the same universe and story and main plot. Well, Horizon has side content that I've played, and although it doesn't feel super, important to the main story, it just feels like, oh, these are other stories that are happening while the main story is happening. Well, Ragnarok, it's no, this is happening, and the main story is affecting these characters very directly, and it's very personal. I think it's a very personal story, and I appreciate that more than the style that Horizon did. But that's just as a personal, like you mentioned, Macho. It hits more personal. It hits closer to home, and the relationship between Atreus and Kratos. It reminded me a lot of me and my dad's. A lot of moments reminded me of me and my family, and it really hit close to home. What about you, Soul? So.
Yeah, where is he at?
So
I think he
no.
would choose Plague Tale though, in all honesty.
You think so?
At least for right now.
Interesting.
He hasn't
Because
finished he hasn't finished right. Where's he at?
Soul, what happened, Soul? No. Dun dun
You
dun
guys can't
dun.
hear me?
Now we do.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, okay. Um, I don't know what I would pick honestly. Like, again, it's weird because I haven't finished Ragnarok, so I obviously can't say that. Um, but just let the record be known. Obviously, I really love A Plague Tale Requiem. Um, I have a bunch of issues with Elden Ring, which has been well documented now. I still enjoyed my time enough to put like over 100 hours into it, right?
Yeah, same.
Um, and same thing with Horizon. I really enjoyed that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Stray, even though even though I don't think it should be on this list, I still enjoy my time with that game too. So like honestly, like to be frank, I don't have an opinion on Xenoblade obviously because I haven't played it, but like if any of these games were to win, like I'm okay with it because like it's not it's not like Macho. It's not like 2016 when Overwatch beat Uncharted 4. You know you know what I mean?
Hey,
Oh
It's not.
God.
I'm actually okay with that. You know,
What?
I'm
Oh
actually,
man. Oh man.
Yeah,
But it's
but
not.
Uncharted 4 is good, but Overwatch, man, that was a movement, bro.
it
Let's
was
give
a
it to them.
movement, to be
True.
fair. Yeah.
True. But it's not. It's not. I don't know. It's not like it's a. Maybe it will be like a controversial if Elden Ring won, but like I don't feel like it is because like
No.
all these games I feel like are deserving in some way or another, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, like I'm just like, man, like what a banger of a list, you know, what a banger of a year because like I don't know. Again, like I would be okay if any of these games were to take it.
Yeah. I agree. And honestly, just put an S in front of that E of game and just make all of them game of the year because these are game. This is the year of the gamer because this is a beautiful list. And I
Yeah.
honestly, as much as we like to dunk on Elden Ring, I put more than 100+ hours on it. I platinum it. I love the game. I just have preferences, and I prefer God of War. Uh, and that's it. That's really it. It's not none of these games is bad. Even I've seen gameplay for the ones that I haven't played, and those don't look like bad games. So honestly,
You know what's crazy?
what?
Um, there's a fairly big game that came out this year that wasn't nominated for anything.
Which one?
You know what game that is?
No.
It came out during that February season where it was just like literally every week there was one big release coming after another. So in February, if you remember, we had Sifu,
Mm-hmm.
we had Horizon,
Right.
we had Elden Ring, we had Destiny 2, Witch Queen.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
one other big release.
I don't remember
Me neither.
actually.
And I think that tells you everything you need to know about this game. That game is Dying Light 2.
Oh my god. Oh my
I thought he was
Ain't
gonna
that
say Days Gone. I thought he was
Days
trolling
oh
us.
but isn't that crazy though? That Dying Light 2 came out this year and it got I mean, look, I was lukewarm on that game, so I understand why it wasn't nominated for
Yeah.
anything, but isn't that crazy?
It
I know
is
'cause
kind
it
of
was
crazy.
anticipated for so long. Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, it's-
I would have expected it to be seen in like a multiplayer category or something. Like best, I don't know, like best multiplayer game because it has co-op. I don't know. But no, it wasn't. Oh my god, I forgot about that game. Oh, I haven't
Yeah, that's
finished
one.
it.
But
Oh.
yeah, so what's our vote then?
I would do God of War because it's the more personal experience for me. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Macho.
was talking to Walt about this before too, where it's like it's gonna be interesting to see what actually wins because everyone has their own different preferences, but I can say for without a doubt there's two different kinds of gamers. There's the ones that love God of War, that love the more cinematic approach and love a story with their game, but also love a game being a game as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's Elden Ring, where that is a game ass game, where
It's a
you just
game ass
throw it into
game.
the middle and you just do whatever you want.
Yep.
And
And you can either
people
read the
love that.
story or not. You can partake in the story or not, which is cool.
Yeah, where the story is more of your experience and the gameplay than it is the actual narrative. Where God of War is kind of like the all-in-one package, where you're getting a narrative and you're getting some gameplay story to tell to your friends, or whatever the case may be.
And some
So
Kvasir poems, which let's not forget the beauty
yeah,
that is.
so it's gonna be interesting to see like which one kind of wins it out.
Yeah.
And personally, because of the fact that it's two different kind of games. So, but for me personally, I talked about this a while before too,
Mm-hmm.
where like I grew up with certain games loving the I still grew up loving game story in games more than actual like gameplay stuff before.
Yeah.
And that kind of started with like Kingdom Hearts 2 where I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay, this story's layered, gameplay is great. I love this game. I love video games now." Well,
Yeah.
where there's more stuff like this. That led me to BioShock. That led me to Red Dead Redemption and all these great games with stories in them. So Ragnarok for me, it's hands down. Gotta do it.
right. God of War Ragnarok it is. And that's our votes. Now, if we don't have any other topic, because this took a minute, we can just throw a little prediction for what world premiere we're gonna see this Game Awards.
Yeah, I feel the premiere
Nah,
should be
that.
easy, but I don't know.
I mean,
Player's choice.
wait, what? What'd you say?
Player's choice, real quick. Oh, there's player's choice. Player's voice. Which is your favorite game of the
It's
year?
Elden Ring. Elden Ring, easy.
Yeah, Elden Ring's gonna be.
No, but
single
we
winner.
we can actually vote for 5 games. So in the pile there are Elden Ring, God of War, Sonic Frontiers, Stray, Minecraft, Horizon Forbidden West, Sifu,
Let's not do that. Let's not
Genshin
do,
Impact, Xenoblade, and
Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb.
let's
Yeah,
not do
let's-
that
I'll
because
do it. I'll do it on my
year-
own. Elden
last
Ring, God
year,
of War,
last year Halo
Horizon.
Infinite won, and that was.
Let's
Yeah, let's not even talk about that.
So this is what I'm gonna do. Okay,
That's
I'm
a
gonna-
fire.
I'm gonna
graphic
put
novel,
Elden
so-
Ring, God of War, and Horizon. Now you two. I'm gonna put Xenoblade for Macho. I'm gonna put Stray for.
Well, we're not doing it.
Okay, no, I just voted.
We
No, this is my account. I
Okay,
can do
okay.
whatever I want.
Wait. So let's move on.
No, that's it. That's all of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we're done. So
Submit
yeah,
votes.
that's our predictions for the Game Awards on December 8th, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Should be a great time.
Let me see who's the jury.
All right. So the last thing, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Really
Yes, ma'am.
quickly. Did any of you guys are you guys planning to check out Marvel's Midnight Suns?
Eventually.
I wanted to, but after watching Skills review and the little him breaking down the conversation between him and Blade and how Blade wants to start a book club and and Captain America wants to join the book club, but he
Yeah.
thinks that Blade made the book club so that he could be friends with him. So the Blade wants you, the character, to ask Captain America to be friends with him.
It-
I can't do it, man.
It's some weird high school shit, dude. Like what the hell?
I
And then how
can't.
Captain Marvel is just like, wow, like you're just so good at everything. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo.
Like, yeah, it's weird, man.
Yeah, I love his description. Skills description was like Captain Marvel, you know, the one that goes into spaceships and blows them up. It's just
Right.
amazed at me. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
and so I was tempted just because of the characters and hearing people say too that that the cards really do reflect the character's identity and their move set and play styles. I think that's really cool. And one is really hard to pull off too. So
Right.
shout out to Fox for doing that. But man, I'll be in that game skipping story and dialogue, and that I already established that I love story in games, so that would just be a no for me.
Yeah, it looks like the combat is for sure like the selling point of that game, and then just everything else is just kind of like, you know, mid for sure.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know, like I feel like doing a Persona-esque sort of like, you know, hanging out with, you know, confidants kind of style of gameplay could be interesting, but it's just like the characterizations of those characters, like making Blade like the book club be his like character trait or his thing or like his little quirk, you know, is like it just doesn't work for those characters because it's like we know who they are, we're familiar with those characters, so like we know that these are things that they would never be into, right? Or that they would never talk about these things like this, you know?
It's just
Like-
weird activities like reading a
Yeah.
book with
And-
Wolverine or
and no,
stargazing
and-
with Captain America.
No, and Wolverine's was like bird watching or some shit like that, and it's like,
Yeah.
come on now, like he's not doing that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It'd be different. It was like, let's get beer with Wolverine and have like this conversation about his past. Or whatever. Like, okay, sure, that's a more likely scenario, not bird watching. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry. You know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I like the characters who are there. I think that's really cool. The ones that they chose, specifically like the Midnight Suns. But yeah, like Magic, right? Like I think that's pretty cool that she's there.
Yeah, I think
but-
Yuri Lorenthal's Spider-Man is
Yeah.
also in there as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the characterization of these heroes is just a little weird, you know. But
I was
yeah,
taking it back. I thought it was gonna be like okay at best, but when I heard that Blade was the start of a book club, that you're bird watching Wolverine, I was like, absolutely not. That seems way off base.
yeah, for sure.
Like Marvel
Um,
Snap had better had better character study than that for sure.
yeah, I guess so. But all right, guys. That is going to do it for the podcast. This week, episode 84. Before we get out of here, once again, I want to remind everyone to go ahead and like the podcast, share it out, and we're gonna get started with these outros. Walt, you have anything going on this week?
This week we got Horizon, we got Callisto, and after that Plague Tale. And I'm watching Wednesday. Really good show.
Shout out to Jenna Ortega, man.
Jenna Ortega is killing it. Luis Guzman, everyone. What else? I got a haul of movies. I got myself Interstellar in 4K. I got Arrival and The Martian. I also got Scream, the first one. Friday the 13th, the first one. And
Oh, that's a good one.
I got the Alien saga. From Covenant to Prometheus to Aliens, Alien. What was the other one? The last one.
You should watch Halloween too. That's a great one.
That one's in my list. On my list. Yeah, man. I got a lot of stuff going on. More Pokemon. I'm packed with media, man. I'm consuming, and then next Thursday, gonna be watching those Game Awards. See what gets announced, and see if the, Bloodborne 60 FPS is here or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I know, right? The announcements. Yeah, we'll see what gets. Jeff. You know what Jeff Keighley's saying, right, Soul?
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
What's he saying?
It's the best. It's the one he's most proud of yet.
Oh man. Are we gonna get the Kojima podcast live?
You might just get the next Kojima game in there. Possibly.
Yeah, for sure.
What's it called?
This man been tweeting a bunch of stuff out. So
That's the one with the poster that we talked about that one time with the actor.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
With
And he's-
Elle Fanning, I think her name.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then other girl too.
The other girl. What about you, Sol? What do you have going on? And then we'll go to Macho.
Not much, man. Hopefully I can find time to stream Ragnarok again.
Sir, enjoying those streams.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You got
But
14
besides-
days to finish this game, bro.
Oh man, yeah,
Oh.
we'll get there.
Before a spoiler cast.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What about you, Macho?
More Lord of the Rings ventures. Actually ended up picking up more books for the whole Middle Earth context, and gonna get through those for this month. More Callisto and Halo. I think just about it. I'm really just gonna be taking it easy, so I just can recover and get better, and that way I can do what I gotta do for the next couple weeks. This month is busy, boys. Avatar 2. I'm going to
Ooh,
Harry
true.
Potter experience next Saturday, so got a lot to do this month. But
Ooh-wee.
yeah, mostly Lord of the Rings, Halo, Callisto, and a little jumping back into Lost Judgment, man. I've been having the ache to play an RGG game, and I still a lot to do in Lost Judgment, so I want to get back to that this week and play through some of that. So
Sounds good.
It's cool. Well, yeah, that's gonna do it for us for DualShock Sense Crew episode 84. We will see you guys next week for episode 85. Talking about all of the good stuff to come out of the Game Awards. Hopefully, there's good stuff. We think that there will be. But yeah, until then, we will catch you guys later. Peace out.